Hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the pub. Saturday night. Hopefully you are all well. Hi, Last Dance. How you doing, man? Good to see you over there in the chat. Like I said, Saturday night. I missed last week. And now we're back. So we'll have a good show tonight. Everyone, hopefully, I think I missed last week, didn't I? I don't know. Yeah, I did. So, we're back. Good evening, my man. And we're going to smoke a little. We're going to drink a little. Talk some crap. You know, the usual stuff. As always, let me know about the audio. I did test the microphone and the audio ahead of time, so provided it doesn't crap out on me between now and when somebody comes on to join me, we should be okay. Yeah, I saw that. Biscuits Casual Pub. Very cool. I would have joined in, except I had a house guest and we were doing stuff, you know. We went out for sushi and cocktails and stopped at another bar for a drink, and it was quite nice. Never do that, so it's kind of fun. Me and a good buddy did that last weekend, which was awesome. And he visits about once a month, so we can expect either a Friday pub or a skip week when he comes. Although he's probably watching. Hopefully you are, Scopper. What's up, bro? And you know what he brought me last week? He brought me this beautiful bottle of Espelon Tequila Reposado, Producto of Mexico. And we didn't even open it. Fucking hell. We didn't even open it, bro. We forgot. We just having so much fun. The bottle went into the liquor cabinet and never came back out, which is cool. I think he might have taken his chips back that he brought, but he left the tequila, which is great. I'll take the tequila over the chips any day. And he's tries to be the snack master. That's what he calls himself, anyways. Hey, John Grammaticus, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here, Johnny Grammaticus. Just gonna get this joint rolled up, then do a shot, and light the joint. Pretty interesting day today. I believe Donald Trump, as we speak, is stumping. He's on the podium in Waco, Texas. Obviously, that's a famous place where the Branch Davidians, led by David Koresh, had a bit of a party, and Janet Reno, the Attorney General at the time, decided to invade them, which probably wasn't the best move, because it resulted in a lot of deaths. Ooh, that's nice smelling tequila. 3/6/22. Alright, cool. This is over a year old from bottling date. I'm going to do training wheels, just a little lime, no salt. Cutting board over on the side here, i.e. paper plate. Oh yeah, that is a juicy lime. Very nice. I find the salt to be a bit... Yeah, the children, I know. A lot of children burned to death, I believe, from that raid. Crazy. Oh, wait, or you were just saying think of the children. Right. Cheers. Ooh, that's nice tequila, man. Thank you, Scott. Yeah. Delish. That was the excuse she gave. Unbelievable. Bad decision, man. They made a few of them back then, including, not limited to, Waco, Ruby Ridge. Jesus, that was terrible. Those are the two big ones that stand out in my mind. But you guys can remind me of others if you can think of any. I'm sure there are more. Smooth. Get the exhaust going a little. Did not work out well for her. Got 6 people watching. That's cool. Missed it last week, so... And also, for the UK people, it is not daylight saving yet. Their daylight saving starts tomorrow. So, they are probably going to show up a little bit late. Thinking that I might not be starting until... whatever. You guys follow me, right? Still waiting to get my amp back from the amp repair shop. We're at 13 days here. These things can take a while, so I'm not chomping at the bit, but I would like to... Hey, a cup of tea, what's up? I would like to, know where the hell my amp is and when I'm getting it back. So right now there's only a 4-hour difference there. Yeah, 4 hours. 7:38 here, 11:38 there. Normally it would be 12:38, but because of the 2-week delay of daylight savings, I believe George W. Gave us 2 bonus weeks of, or 4. I think he did 2 weeks on each end. Spring forward, fall back. Exactly. Good stream yesterday there for Random Goon over there on Twitch. It's good stuff, man. You got some great... Wait, am I still on screen? Let's try this one. Save new layout. Edit layout. Cancel. I don't know. There's this whole new thing going on here. I think I just did something. Did I do something? Group layout. That's the one I like. Yeah. I think that's... Let's just go ahead and go with what I have. Jesus, this is going rough. They give me a little new toy here on the StreamYard. Just getting used to it. But definitely stoked for the weather to start warming up. This cold weather shit sucks. Can't deal. Don't like it. But on the plus side, we didn't get enough snow this year to even start a snowblower, so I didn't even have to run a snowblower once this winter, which is freaking incredible, man. Get this baby right. Yeah, dude, sick of it is right. I walked couple miles on the beach today, and it was a south east wind, which is kind of unusual. So it was coming off the ocean, north, south, from the south, off of the ocean, right? Hey, Biscuit, what's up, dude? Yeah, I was just talking about that. We already did our daylight saving, so it's that unusual time of year where the pub is seems earlier for you because we already had our daylight saving. It's not plural, I believe. Congrats on the casual pub last week, Biscuit. Very cool idea. Hell yeah, definitely get it going if I'm not around, or if I am, get it going anyways. I don't care. But awesome. I like that you pulled that off, dude. Very cool. So if I happen to be doing it for a week, make sure you check out Biscuit Vapes' channel and subscribe to him. So he might be doing live stuff on occasion, and it's probably entertaining. I think I watched a little of it last week after I watched the recording, and it seemed cool. All you guys were there, which was chill. Did you use the StreamYard? I'm not sure. I think you did, right? Some free StreamYard, possibly. But hey, it was a good idea. Hey, Based Walshman, what's going on? Base Walshman may have had the boot for a while there. A couple of weeks possibly from the old YT Welshie. Welcome back. What time are we at here? Nice, John. I love walking beaches, listening to the ocean, smoke a little grass. It is different on the other side. Sammy Cat. Good to see you. Indeed, good evening. She'll probably be coming down here tomorrow, and if it's early enough, pardon me, we can walk the beach again. And I will smoke a little grass. Nothing like it, baby. So back to what I was saying. Oh, I found this today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that sort of a thing. That is sea glass, or beach glass, whatever you want to call it. It's worn smooth, no sharp edges, can't cut yourself with it. The ocean grinds all the sharpness off and makes it a dull piece of cloudy glass. Very fun stuff to find. Always on the lookout for it. Martin Burley, how you doing, man? Does look like meth. Nope, not meth. Just beach glass. In fact, I can prove it. Let's pick that up. Let's find something glass. Where's my shot glass? There we go. I don't think meth would make that sound. I don't really know. I've never actually seen meth. Yep, the sand and pebbles smooth down all the points and edges. This is an old one because it's so cloudy. That was probably clear at one point. And I find probably 5 pieces a year. I'm always on the lookout for agate, moonstone, beach glass, and the Lord God of things to find would be a megalodon tooth. Very hard to find those. You don't only find them on the beaches, you'll find them inland because the oceans were different when megalodon roamed the seas. Yeah, cool, Martin. Welcome. Good to see you, man. Martin Burley. It has been a while, hasn't it? I think I follow you on Twitter. Yeah, I've been doing this on my own channel now, Martin, for a while. Love to have Graham and Hayden pop on by sometime, but they have bigger and better things to be doing. Cool. Megalodon teeth. Right on, Last Dance. The speed looks like toothpaste. Jesus. But it doesn't do any good for your teeth, I'm sure, John. It looks like toothpaste, but it should be called tooth death because from what I understand about meth, it wrecks your teeth. I have pretty good teeth. Hi, wife. Look, it's my wife. She is very nice. Wife. Hi, hun. And welcome, Marty. Sure, I'll play some. Yeah, I love Skinner, bro. I wish I had my amp. I would play it on the electric. Gary Rossington, guitar player for Leonard Skinner. If you wanna talk of fishing, I guess that would be okay. Don't ask me no questions. Good one for sure. Send me home peace, Mr. Rossington. Played a lot of great music. Yeah, we might as well get this thing rolling. What the heck? Anyone who would like to join in on camera, feel free to go ahead and click the link in the description, and we can get this thing rolling. How you doing, Last Dance?
All right, good evening.
Good evening to you, man.
Happy Saturday.
Same to you, brother. Almost just this past week, we had a crazy 20-year anniversary to the Iraq War, huh?
Yeah.
You believe that?
We still have troops there. That's what's hard. That's what's unbelievable.
I know, but
We still have troops in Syria.
got fighting Iran now, apparently.
Oh my God. Just insane.
Yeah, really. And supposedly they used some kind of an unmanned drone to attack a contractor and some of our troops. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that. I mean, how hard is that? You're right, that's the problem. It's, you're out there and you're, basically putting them in harm's way for what's the equivalent of a pot shot, because drones, they cost money, but they don't put any troops, the enemy's troops at risk. So, yeah, it's you're just making it easy for Iran to, hand the drones to their militias, teach them how to fly it, teach them how to push a button, maybe do it themselves,
And I don't really understand how it works over there. So they have these militias, quote unquote, that are essentially what, like private armies?
I mean,
Are they funded by the government? I mean,
well, because parts of Syria are not under the control of the Syrian government, but that's partly our doing,
right?
Because we have sort of carved out our own area there, and in that vacuum, various things flourish, and in the areas under Syrian control, Syria asked for Iran's assistance to help them survive, and Iran did provide them with assistance and troops, and Hezbollah troops as well. So, they kind of owe Iran. So Iran has a lot of freedom to operate there, and since we're certainly fucking up Russia with tremendous weapons deliveries to Ukraine, they're not going to be in the mood to restrain any of these groups operating on the Syrian side, whereas they might have been willing.
You're saying Russia would have been sort of monitoring, policing these groups?
Yeah, I mean, it's not clear exactly how it goes, but yeah, they would have been there, and they also helped the Assad regime survive, so they have some sway and some say in what goes on there, and we're not. It's not like we're doing anything but making, deeper enemies of everybody there, and so, and I don't know why we're there at this point.
It does make you wonder.
I mean, Assad has won basically. He's not going to be overthrown. So it's pointless. There's nothing left to do. If we have people that are at risk, perhaps Syrians that have assisted us, help them get out, and then get out ourselves. Let's be done with it. I don't even think there's an authorization for military force that pertains to Syria. I think various administrations have used the Iraq one and sort of bent it to say Syria is all part of the Iraq mission because ISIS moves freely from Syria to Iraq, or did.
Are you talking about the same authorization that allowed them to invade Iraq in the first place? 20-something years ago?
Yeah, there's been several authorizations for military force. that have been renewed and updated. I'm not, I don't have full details of how they work, but it's kind of ridiculous at this point. There's really nothing. There's no more vision or goals left to you know, to work out anymore. There's just nothing we're doing there but being targets for, pot shots.
Is there a chance that leaving could cause like a brew up of terrorism or terrorist groups that would?
I don't think that's true in Syria, but I'm
Okay.
not an expert. The reason I don't think that is because if we're not there, Russia will, bomb the living shit out of any terrorists. They'll kill all the civilians too, but and that's right, President. We haven't, it's not like we're there with anybody's permission.
Right.
So we have no claim, no rights to be there. So I just think it's just disappointing that a majority of both parties want us to remain in Syria, in Iraq, even in Afghanistan. It was Biden seemingly himself who pulled that removed us from Afghanistan. Good for him for that.
Is there anything left in Syria? I mean, from the footage, some of the tank footage, I'm sure it was isolated to certain cities, but these cities were just razed, gone.
Yeah, I mean, cities that were controlled by rebels, by ISIS, by other anti-Assad groups, they were mostly flattened by Russian and Syrian, but Russia's obviously has the heavier firepower. Russian and Syrian bombing raids and artillery and tank battles, and they have a very simple, expedient way of doing battle against urban insurgents. If somebody fires a weapon from a building, you blow the building up,
Right.
and rinse, repeat until the town is pacified. It's a pretty easy plan. It's guaranteed to work as long as you have enough bombs. The rebels certainly don't have much in the way of anti-aircraft.
It's
horrific
too,
stuff.
though.
It is. Civilians are always getting caught in the middle, just like they do when we do our precision bombing.
Right. They lost the birth lottery and were born in a place that was unstable.
Yep.
Essentially, and someone could be working their whole life saving what they have, thinking, "Oh, I got a few years left to retirement." Then, fucking war, and it's something that's so outside of the control of the people that live there. It's like they might as well be nothing. Ants. Doesn't matter. They're insignificant when it comes to the war. And that's what is happening, obviously, in the Ukraine, and
That's right.
It's just it's hard to imagine. We got it good. When people complain about it here, it's like, we got it pretty fucking good, in my opinion.
Absolutely. We there's a reason why refugees want to come to peaceful Western areas, not just because they're prosperous. That's a big reason, but it's also because they're fleeing the instability and war, and it's got to be like paradise compared to where they're coming from.
Right. And let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Vapes.
Hey,
guys.
Biscuit, how you doing?
I'm doing
Good.
good, thank you.
Very good. How you been? How's your week?
Yeah, it's been alright.
Yeah.
Slow and steady. But the new Resident Evil 4 remake.
Resident Evil 4. Okay. Is that a game?
Yes.
Why is it? What do you mean by remake?
It came out in 1998, the original. No, that's Resident Evil 2. I think it came out in 2004, I think, the original Resident Evil 4.
So this is just what, like, way better graphics, better control, better
and
everything.
they've added to the story as well.
Cool. How long does that take to beat or to complete?
With me, it probably takes 7 months.
Damn.
But
Of
it's
what, like, say 3-4 hours a day?
No, maybe an hour or two.
Okay, that's cool. Good man. Not overdoing it with the gaming.
Yeah, I lose interest really fast because I think I've got a bit of ADD.
Right on. Well, not right on to that, but right on to
yeah.
to not like I mean, when I was a kid with the Nintendo, we'd sit there for hours and you could watch other people play, but yeah, I mean,
I can watch people play for ages, but playing myself, my attention just gets lost.
Interesting. Wonder how your sound is slightly low. It's fine for me.
It's because I'm a bit far away.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a new microphone? It looks smaller, or did you take the puffy thing off?
I took the puffy thing off.
Mm-hmm. Good show you had last week.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I was struggling to find things to topics to bring up, but
who all showed up? McGrand, Last Dance.
Last Dance. Topple came.
Cool.
Who else came? Random Goon came as well.
Nice. Yeah. Did you know I was on, or did you just happen to randomly come upon it because the timing thing, right?
Oh yeah, I just put YouTube on and went to search for something, and you popped up as first search.
Cool.
I was like, Steve's on.
Oh, right on. That's good.
I've literally just come out of playing my game and went onto YouTube, and you were on.
Cool. What do you have in a glass of? What is that? Rosé?
No. It's called Dragon Soup.
Energy drink?
Nope. 7.5% alcoholic caffeinated beverage.
Oh no. They had a what the hell? Oh, Loco something. Remember that from a few years ago? You Loco. It was the same thing of what you're talking about, and it's always something. And the Borgs now. Do you guys have the Borgs over there?
I've heard about it, where you put like vodka and like cordial in, like squash.
Like vodka and powdered Gatorade, essentially, is what it
Yeah.
is, with water. It's a blackout rage gallon.
Yeah, the ones I saw, they use those like drop bottles that are like super concentrated. They just squeeze one of them in a gallon tub with a full bottle of vodka and water.
Ugh. I mean, we used to call it cuckoo juice in college. I think that's okay to say, right?
I can't imagine why. Why
right.
not?
And I think, I don't know, mixing up strong, boozy gallons is something that like teens and young 20-somethings have always done, especially at college parties. Back to the 50s and 60s and shit, right? Spike the punch or whatever.
Absolutely.
So
probably the 60s BC too.
Right, exactly. You know, now there's the Borg is because it's got this name, so the media runs with it and acts like it's this new invention. But
new horror.
Right. It's not. I mean,
we bottle the same shit up and we call it WKD.
What's that?
It's a vodka drink that it's like a pre-mixed bottle of, and it's usually in blue, yellow, pink, red, different colours. But it's just literally what they call an alcopop. It's an alcoholic pop.
Huh.
And it's like 20%, something like that.
Jesus, that's dangerous. I like my buzz to be controlled.
Well, this is only 7.5, so it's fine.
There you go.
It's just full of caffeine as well. 35 milligrams per 100 mil.
Wow.
That's incredibly strong.
Yeah, that's 350 milligrams per liter.
Yeah. So
Holy moly.
and it's a 500 ml can.
Okay, so half a liter. All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're in the couple cups of coffee range per 500 mils,
yeah.
which isn't terrible, but if you started pounding them, you'd be all over the place.
I've only got the one. I had one last weekend and one today.
It's like Red Bull and vodka.
Yeah.
Never really liked that combination, but it's dangerous. Do you know what John's talking about here? Tennent's Super A.
Yes.
Set
It's,
up.
have you ever heard of the Carlsberg? I think is it Carlsberg?
I've heard.
But they do like a super strong. It's in like a brown and black can, and it's like 9%. That's similar to what Tennent's is.
Never heard of it.
Special brew, that's what it's called. Carlsberg Special Brew.
So is Cup saying that it's not good?
Oh, it's not. It's nasty. But it's what alcoholics drink because it's cheap and it satisfies their alcoholic needs.
Right. Yeah, the strong beer or beer forte types ones that I've had are usually incredibly bitter and strong beyond the alcohol because they're supposed to be very rich. Is this thing just like your average crappy beer but with 9% alcohol? Or does it have a lot of the gumption like of a strong IPA?
It has no nicety to it. It's just a hoppy, disgusting, full of alcohol beer.
Yeah, that's rough. Tramp juice. That's funny. Is tramp meaning like a person who rides the rails?
I think it means a homeless person who is frequently homeless are frequently alcoholics. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, tramp. Is it kind of an older use of that word, right?
Well, I don't know what the slang is in the UK. Tramp in the US is an older expression that would have applied to homeless people
or women who slept around a lot.
Well, that's another one.
Kind of like the old days, gay used to mean happy.
Happy, yeah.
I mean, you've heard of the gay 90s. That wasn't, the decade of homosexual experiences. This was the 1890s.
Right. The 1990s was actually homosexual.
It was far gayer than the 1890s, yes.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, they made light of it on The Simpsons. Smithers is going away on vacation, and I think Mr. Burns is like, well, have a gay time. Smithers is like, how did he know? I guess he's obviously old man talk, And I think that later he shows him on his vacation and he's in like a conga line full of men, like at this resort. I love Smithers.
Yep.
Got a pretty good, about a 7-minute radio interview with John Bolton. I want to feature once we get a few people on here. Yeah, it's from NPR this past week. And it's about the start of the Iraq War. Iraq. That was a weird combination.
We get it.
But yeah, we'll throw that on, get some opinions going later.
Yeah, he's certainly a warmonger, so I'd be interested to see what he thinks of that catastrophe and see if he tries to say, I don't know. I guess he would say it would have worked just fine if we had doubled the number of troops. And
he it's audio only. I think that'll work though, right? 7 minutes.
Absolutely.
We can stop it and discuss like after each answer because it's a question and answer sort of interview. So
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, going back and thinking about what I thought of at the time, I would say I thought it was somewhat righteous.
Oh, so did I. I definitely was a big Iraq War supporter.
Right.
Well, it came off the back of 9/11, didn't it?
It did, and that kind of, poisoned my mind, but I'm quite ashamed that I ever supported it. Because, looking back, there was never a justification for it, even, there was really never a justification for us to.
Well, everyone's tempers were enraged, wasn't they? And
Yeah.
they just wanted payback for what happened.
I'm afraid that's it. That's a terrible reason to start a war that millions of people end up getting killed in.
Yeah.
But at the time, did you think it was more justified to be going after Afghanistan than Iraq?
Yeah, but we were there already. We were there, within a couple of weeks after 9/11.
In both countries.
Well, we were there in Afghanistan. We were
Right.
Took a year or two to get into Iraq, and that was 2003.
It seemed to me that at the time I thought stupidly that it was Afghanistan essentially that attacked us, but in hindsight, it was a lot of the people were from. They were Saudi nationals, weren't they? A lot of the
There were Saudi
hijackers.
nationals who joined Al Qaeda, which really wasn't a Saudi group per se, but most of the leadership was Saudi. Although the next guy, number two man, Zawahiri, is an Egyptian. So it's really I would call it a pan-Sunni organization. It's not really about national borders per se. I mean, Al Qaeda views all of the Islamic Gulf as what should be in their caliphate. I don't think they have any particular nationalistic fervor about any one country. Certainly not Saudi Arabia.
Is that what they call Levant?
Levant is like Lebanon.
Okay. Just Lebanon.
Lebanon and Syria, parts of Syria. It's that area. Sometimes Israel is considered part of the Levant. So it's a little further, further north and west.
And like you said, that to them, their national borders aren't really what the important part is. But I remember Obama used to call ISIS ISIL, which was Islamic State in Levant, I think was what ISIL stood for.
Yeah, in Iraq and the Levant, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Those terms, I never really. Why was he saying that? Yet a lot of other people were calling them ISIS. Like,
Well, what you call them, it's you go by what they call themselves and what you think they really are, and so the name did seem to change. I don't think it's that important, but
right. Yeah, it's like in the end, it seemed like they were pretty much in Syria. I mean, do they still exist? They must obviously exist.
yeah, they still exist. A degraded, tiny core still exists. It's somewhat of an idea. So, as even if you kill everyone in ISIS, the idea of ISIS will attract adherents.
What happened to all the people from other countries that were in there fighting, and did they return to their respective homelands?
A bunch of them returned. Most of them were killed. Some of them are internally displaced still in Syria, in various places. The UK refused to repatriate some of their citizens.
There was a woman, right?
Yes, Shamima Begum.
She was a UK citizen,
She was.
and they said, "Stay the fuck out."
Yeah, and I guess I can't blame them, although I disagree with that decision.
Really? Even though she might have, like you said, that idea?
Yeah, like I said, I can't really blame them. She offers no value in terms of being a citizen. You're as a country, you're better off with her being outside. Not wasting your resources. She's a potential for violence. So there's really no upside to the UK repatriating her.
Right.
And
Fucked up.
but still,
Fucked.
you sort of people can't be stateless. They They have to live somewhere, and I would say she's a UK citizen. If she's not good enough to keep in, on the streets, then put her in jail for aiding a terrorist group. I mean,
Well, you don't want to end up with a Abu Ghraib situation, or a not Abu or a Guantanamo Bay situation.
no, this is the UK. Their prisons are probably better than, our certainly better than our prisons in terms of being good to the prisoners. So they wouldn't have an Abu Ghraib or a Guantanamo Bay or anything like it.
But I guess when I say that, I mean and having a person who's uncharged or
no, she'd have to be charged.
She'd have to be charged.
Indicted, prosecuted, and convicted by a jury. But
right.
I mean, her own statements are practically a confession.
Mm.
Yes, I went there. Why did I go there? I went to support I supported the Islamic State in my heart. I supported them with bringing whatever funds I could. I supported them by, being their fighters' sex slaves. She's, to me, that's material support, if not actually being a combatant in some sense.
Yeah, I mean.
So I expect that eventually they will back off and say she is a UK citizen, and they'll repatriate her. I think they'll forgive her, and she'll be put on assistance, and it will just be the most appalling thing. But
is she? Was that huge in the news over there, Biscuit, when this woman was?
I think it was. I don't recall it personally, but I do remember something about repatriation. That word. That beer's or that I've only had this much.
Jeez,
I hate to see what happens when you get that down halfway.
Oh, it was brutal. On last weekend, I was mashed.
Well, she went with a bunch of her friends of similar age.
Fucking idiots. God. Like, if you're their father, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Slap them upside the head for
It wasn't that. It wasn't the woman in Syria, was it? That
no.
When the one with the husband that lived in the UK still.
Yeah, you're thinking of Sally Ann Jones.
No, it was someone else. She had an Eastern name.
Not bad one there by Johnny.
Well, then that's... Well, the only one I could think of... the ones I could think of were Shamima Begum and her two friends.
It doesn't sound familiar, that name.
And the other famous one was Sally Ann Jones and her husband Hussein? Junaid Hussein or something like that. And they brought their child, their infant,
Jesus,
with them to Syria, and he was killed pretty quickly.
the husband,
I believe, by a U.S. or a British drone strike. He was specifically targeted because he was specifically targeting Western U.S. and U.K. people.
Did he show up and take one deep breath and bam?
No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it wasn't that. Behold, the caliphate. Boom.
Exactly.
I wish it was that. No, and they didn't get her till much later, but and they never recovered her body. But the word is that she dead. Killed in a drone strike.
That wasn't a joke. He's saying the BBC actually did give her a podcast. Wow.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, that must be interesting to hear her making excuses for.
Yeah, no way I would be patronizing that thing. Yikes. I'm all for a good podcast, but why would you give it to somebody like that? It's horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how... I mean, you can hate people like that. I certainly think little of them, but, it's suppose you're a typical low self-esteem teenager struggling to fit in. Your parents are Muslim, devout Muslims. You never really got it, and then you have a chance to travel and be considered a hero when you get there, and so there are attractions that I can understand. I'd like to believe that once you saw the cruelty and the appalling murders, you would say this really isn't for me.
You
But
hope
no,
so.
that never happened.
Remember any of the videos from Live Leak?
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
You happen to remember the HD videos with the shotgun?
Yeah.
That was fucked up, dude. Those
Is
guys.
that the one where the kid was like supposedly wrote graffiti or something?
Yeah.
Anti-ISIS graffiti. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So like, anybody who sides with them is hateable. I mean, that is just
Yeah.
horrendous. We're not even talking about this guy wasn't a murderer. He wasn't a child rapist or something.
No.
And in those cases, I am sick enough to say that I would pretty much not have a problem with some really horrendous people having that done to them. But it appeared that kid just, like you said, tagged some graffiti, which may or may not have been true. It could have been like the Salem witch hunt. The kid, somebody said it about him. Who knows,
It's not like they have a respectable justice system. Someone gets accused and they get tortured and they confess, and then they're murdered in as cruel a fashion as these evil minds can think of, basically.
Right. Yeah. They had the thing with the swimming pool.
Yep.
That was terrible.
The cage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a novelist who's thinking about he wants to write horror, and he thinks of all these creative ways to kill people because he tries to put on his evil mind. But you could never be quite as good as actual human beings and their capacity for violence and cruelty. It's sad to say.
Right. And CGI or special effects will never be able to match when it's a real person.
Yep.
Because we can't. And also just knowing that they're real people. I suppose there's that suspension of disbelief with movies that you just act like it's a real person, but you're watching a movie,
Right.
And these times that you're watching the videos we're talking about, it's not a movie. That's the difference.
Yep.
Crazy shit, dude. And that website Chaotic, which we've talked about on here a few times over the last month or so, they're trying to keep it together. They might be going underwater.
Well, it's impossible. It's almost impossible to monetize such websites. Nobody wants their ads to run on a gore site, right?
Right, and this one is all the ads are porn, so it's annoying as hell.
And how much money is that? And it's not that much.
Thousandths of a penny or something
Yeah, right.
per pop-up. It's ridiculous. But now they're trying to make it like a premium membership sort of a deal.
Yeah, but it will. It's doomed to failure.
Exactly. Best Gore still exists. I didn't realize that.
I don't know how they do it.
It's bestgore.fun.
Oh, so they must have reincarnated.
Exactly. But the gore is worse than ever on there. I mean, it's the type of place you go and you see the thumbnails and you're like, okay, on to the next thing. Not going to
Yeah.
even click on one thing. Like, Chaotic would have random crazy shit, maybe not all pure gore, but I liked around the periphery of gore, like that's kind of why Live Leak was cool. There was some gore, but it became known as like a gore site, like in popular culture. But as you know, there was so much more to it, and there was some funny shit. There was political stuff. I mean,
Even some of the death videos were not really that gory. They were just like a lot of those Chinese videos. They were sadly almost comical in what the ineptitude involved.
Right. somebody like climbing into a rock crusher to get rocks unstuck with their feet, and then all of a sudden they're going down.
The videos I liked were the incompetent Middle Easterns not knowing how to handle a rocket launcher and getting flung back.
Oh yeah.
Or firing a gun at a wedding and it's got kickback. I'm holding onto the trigger.
And the fingers are stuck and they can't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they shoot like 3 people.
Right. It's so if you saw it in a movie, you would say nobody could be that stupid. But because we saw it on Live Leak, we know that there is no bound to how stupid people could be.
Exactly.
And the Chinese with their heavy machinery, that they just, I don't know, that it was always, the machinery was just biding its time until it could eat up one of those Chinese workers.
Right. Occasionally you'd get an American with either a motorcycle or a sports car that they were not used to, hammering the gas and just like right into the side of a tree.
Usually that's teenagers that whiskey throttle from start.
And like a Mustang with cheap tires, a 5.0 with 450 horsepower, and people just it was all over the place, man. It's good stuff. I do miss it. I assume Hayden's going to keep that domain forever. It's probably
if only to domains are cheap. Once you own them, it's cheap to renew them.
It's like $20 a year.
Yeah, and you'll just have it point to item fix. It's perfect for all the people who just have it bookmarked and they just click on the bookmark to get to item fix, even though it's got the Live Leak logo on it.
That's right. What do we have?
Thanks, Anna.
Somebody.
Hey, Anna.
Hey, Anna. What's going on? And I saw Aphid in there before.
You might have found the Holy Grail.
I have. It's called protein.
Hey, Martin Burley retweeted me. Thanks, Martin. Good to see Martin Burley.
Yeah.
And Anna's back. Aphid's here. I saw Based was here a few minutes ago.
Hey, Biscuit, are you able to contact Carol Collins in any way? Because the only way I know her is, I think, on this channel, and we haven't seen her for a long time now.
I don't know. I've not had any other contact with Carol other than on here.
Okay.
How about Twitter?
I couldn't find anybody that I'm following or who with that name that looked right.
Oh, right. She had a different name, didn't she?
She spelled it Carol, Carole, like Carol Collins. Yeah. So that was. Although that might be common in the UK, that seemed kind of unique to me.
It's actually more common in like Poland and Ukraine and things like that.
Okay.
But for males to be called Carol.
Is it Dana Banana or is that somebody else?
Never heard of that.
Okay. She has a weird name. Hey, Wingman John, he follows me. Stephen Englander. Remember him? He was awesome.
he was
was that the disco guy?
No, that was the accountant.
Oh yeah, you mean no, I'm thinking this. Yeah, the driver.
Driver?
Yeah,
in one of the movies,
Postal
right?
Driver.
Oh yes. He did have a cameo in one of Hayden's shows.
Oh no, I'm thinking of one of the guests we had on here that was a truck driver.
Oh no, you're
Postal
thinking
driver.
of somebody else. Hairway.
That's right. Yeah, Hairway to Stephen.
Oh, Hairway. No, that's not him. I think Stephen Englander. Was it Accounts Direct? Was that the name of his?
Yeah,
account?
He did a show before or after Hayden and Graham would do a show. I would catch him well, occasionally I'd be at work and I'd put him on, and Hayden would be doing the producer thing for him. He was entertaining for sure.
I enjoyed his shows, and Graham got a little more airtime on Steven's shows because Hayden's a huge ego hog. He wouldn't let Graham get a word in on any of his shows.
Right. Good times though, back with those guys.
Yeah.
I miss them. It'd be nice to see them again sometime for sure.
Yeah. Hayden started his own Substack.
Yeah, I see
Speaking
that.
of my weight, I think I'm probably down to a single XL now. This is a 3.
Good man.
Radbot. I remember him, but I don't remember him.
I remember the name, but
Me
I don't
too.
remember the person. Hey, what are you weighing at these days, Biscuit?
I weighed myself today at 22 stone 7,
Okay.
which was 315.
Nice,
Wow,
dude. You're right.
amazing.
You're knocking on 300.
Yep.
That's killer. You must feel a lot lighter walking around.
I feel great.
And how much were you doing curls with last week or 2 weeks ago?
Let me think. 2.5, 7.5, 14, 15, 16 pounds. Is it pounds? No, kilos. 16 kilos.
Okay, about 35 pounds. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep the big guy strength when you get small, because you'll lose muscle too,
Yeah. That's why I have loads of protein. I have 110 grams of protein every day.
That's pretty good. I'm second guessing my protein drink in the morning. I'm putting protein powder in iced coffee, and I think I'm getting wicked dehydrated from it. I think the diuretic from the caffeine combined with the amino acids they put in the protein powder is like, it's kind of zapping all the water out of me. I think that's the reason they tell you to mix it with water, because so
I mean, I have a protein shake like one out of 3 days, but most days I have bacon and eggs instead for breakfast.
That's a nice breakfast. I'll have 1 bacon and 1 egg tomorrow.
I
That was excellent.
had 2 bacon, 1 egg, and half of an English muffin with a couple of tablespoons of baked beans.
Yeah, see, you guys get that lean bacon that's like pork tenderloin.
Oh,
No fat. It's almost pure protein.
We can also get the streaky bacon, but I made that mistake once. And I put it into my fitness calculator, and it was like 150 calories per slice compared to 40 calories a slice.
Right.
And there's more meat on a normal piece of bacon that we have here.
There he is.
Hey, Aphid.
Oh, I'm out of here
Rich.
now.
I
What's
don't
going
blame
on,
you.
buddy? How are you?
Foul you out. Can't stand this guy.
How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
All
Pretty
right.
good. Pretty good. Hey, you have us on the background there. Cool.
Yep. There you are.
Very nice. How's your week, buddy?
Good. It's been spring break for the boy, so we've been trying to pack it jam-packed with activities.
Right, okay. You went on, I saw you had a little day trip this week. That looked fun.
Yeah, every day we've been trying to do something.
Nice. Right on, dude. Spring break.
You guys are the only reason I bother to check Facebook now. Normally I would not, I would get on there once a month or something, but I try and check much more frequently.
Sorry, I'm an infrequent poster.
That's okay.
Me
If it
too.
fills the gap.
Well, I don't do much. I mean, from the people I see, like my friends and stuff, it's like they have to document every
So
moment of their life.
here's a conundrum I have, and I wonder how you solve it. I follow a lot of people that I worked with, and I like them all, but I just am not interested in their typical Facebook posts. I don't know if I could see less of it, or there's no way Facebook is going to know that I'm not interested in how so and so's art project, but I'm not.
Well, I think it does everything that they, every time they post, doesn't it? Or does it not work like that?
I think it
I think it just does everything.
I've never figured out how
It used to
Facebook
be like
arranges things. Yeah.
I
I'm not on there hardly
I
at
have
all
a
anymore.
theory how all social media does things, and it's they have a microphone planted in your phone, and they listen to every conversation you ever have, and they bring shit up that you've mentioned in passing. I swear to God, I mention something, and it'll pop up on the internet within 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. I guess I'll just have to scroll past it
Yeah.
Wow.
quickly. Yeah.
It's tough.
Okay.
That scrolling movement is so strenuous.
It is brutal.
I think I think you can click like see less posts from this person or something. I think you can do that. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really look at people's posts, to be honest with you. I go on there and I'll post something for my family or something to see some thing.
I
we
do
did
I
that
do
day or
even less than that. I go on Facebook. If I ain't got any little red notification numbers, I close Facebook, and then that's it. I'm done.
Well, they
So
give you those.
if I'm not mentioned, I won't get a notification. So that's all good for me.
Well, I get those even if I don't like. It'll just be some random person that I don't even know, and it'll be one of my friends, obviously, but it'll be a red mark and say they just updated their post or status.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
Only
why
time
do I
I'll
care?
get
You don't need to tell me.
only time I'll get something like that is when it's someone's birthday that I have conversations with often.
Yeah, I think Smokesteve's wife is onto it.
She
Yeah.
knows. She knows it.
She knows the ways of the Facebook.
Yeah, she's kind of gotten off of it. I think she's got burnt out. It's like you guys were just saying. I think the world is burnt out on Facebook, like simultaneously. That's why they're fucking tanking and laying people off, because it didn't really keep the interest, keep the excitement, I think.
And they've spent millions on VR, which have sold many headsets, but they're just not selling the games. Because
I'm glad it's there because I don't know. It just seems a convenient way to be connected to everybody. You wanna reach out to somebody that you can. You know.
Yeah, I know.
So it's good to be able to do that if you want to.
I mean, if you unfriend someone, do they know?
Yes.
I mean, if they go to their, I don't think it tells them like,
It
hey,
doesn't. No, it doesn't explicit. But if
but if they go there and look at their friends list and you're not there. But they don't know that. They don't know. I mean, you're not active on there, so it's not like they're going to see you comment on somebody else's post.
Well, if they find out that I unfriended them, it would be seen as a hostile act, and I don't want to make a
I
hostile.
think, like what Smokesteve's wife was saying, those 3 dots. I think you could just ignore them and you stay in business with them.
Thing is, though, Last Dance, if you unfriend them and block them, they're never going to be able to contact you and relay that information that they're fed up with you or whatever.
Well, I think you don't want to
What
hurt
could be more hostile than that? And I'll send them a hate mail too before I.
Yeah, just to make sure they know that you're getting rid of them.
Every day you breathe is another day that I'm sad. Blocked, reported, cursed, voodoo doll bought in your likeness.
That's someone who's physically scarred you with that one.
All right.
Welcome back,
Thank you.
Smokesteve.
Hey,
Lee.
Lee.
All right, Lee.
Oh my God! I don't think you wear headphones like that, Lee. You had a few too many sauces.
Oh, he's.
Hey, Lee.
Mate, has anybody seen my head?
That's funny. I get it. I get it.
Can you... It's my headphones. Hey, Sid, you know the truth.
They're hovering.
You see my headphones somewhere. Come on.
I don't know where they're at.
We've seen you taking your garbage out, bringing it back in, taking your garbage out, bringing it back in. Where the fuck is my headphones? Good evening, all. How are you?
What's up, Lee?
All right.
Do you guys get who his impersonation is of?
Yeah,
Joe,
I think
is
so,
it-
but
is
I
it
feel
Joe
like I should
Biden?
keep quiet.
You don't want to mention the person by name, which might bring them in. I hear you. Okay, well,
I have an inkling.
I got you.
I mean, I just I seem to be a sore spot in that person, so I don't want to refer to him at all. My very
Well
presence
played.
is
Well played, my man.
aggravating
Yes.
to them.
Yep. Oh.
Hey, Biscuit.
Yeah.
I'm for the rest of you. You know, you were saying about looking up things, then it appears on your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
There was a court case that come to conclusion this week of a guy that murdered his wife.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that-
yeah, I heard of it. Yeah.
yeah. That's
Did you not
amazing.
bring
So
this up?
Alexa-
Did you not bring that up a couple of weeks ago? I
No.
remember hearing about that on here. I'm sure.
This was
Different
like in the
case,
news just
probably.
this week. So they said,
Ah.
the police said that before she was killed, I think in the kitchen, they'd caught him by the fact that they'd been giving commands to Alexa. So I don't know. I don't get that, because it's like you're in the middle of about to murder someone and you start telling Alexa to play your favorite track or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think there's more to it. I think
Oh, he's gone.
they have the chance to be able to listen to what maybe went on. I don't know.
Well, that would be a controversial thing for sure.
There was actually
Yeah.
a movie made about a similar situation, but they called it a different name. But it was basically like the Amazon in-home device thing. And this woman's
Yeah.
like reviewing
No one as sexy as you, Goon.
this woman's reviewing all the AI's responses to correct what it'd say next time, and she hears a woman being murdered in her apartment, and she's trying to get the police involved through the company, and the company end up sending hitmen because they're involved with the murder themselves.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
they
you
get
know,
like the Minority Report.
You know, things like Alexa or Siri or whatever Google has on their phone, Android.
Bigsby.
I don't know what it is.
No, it's
Since-
Bigsby. It's fucking
Bigsby?
stupid. It's a
Okay.
guy. It's like, hello, mate. What can I do for you?
Oh yeah, Smokesteve doesn't want guys doing women's jobs. That's what it is.
Yep.
I want Siri. I want Alexa.
Yeah, he wants women to be subservient and do his bidding.
No, I want them to have like a porn star name, like Alexa, not Bigsby. Come on.
What I was going to say is,
Smoke Steve's
since
wife's now listening to that going, why does Steve associate Alexa with a porn star?
Well, isn't it?
there's probably quite a few Alexas.
My wife might be watching. I don't know.
I hope not. My daughter's friend is called Alexa, and she's only 11.
Jeez, that's terrible.
Give her
Yeah,
some
I
time.
take it back. Here we go, Goon. Always keeping it on the up.
I've changed my Alexa to ECHO.
Echo.
Yes, I won't say it because she'll be listening.
So you have one? Does anyone else have one? One of these things that listens?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, I have Siri on my iPhone.
Is that
We're
on
all
all the
listening to
time?
this.
So you
Yeah.
just say, "Hey Siri."
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
waiting for us to say, hey, well, that.
Mine
Yes.
waits for me to say the E word.
Hey Siri,
So all four of you are Apple iPhone guys.
I
man,
am.
in here,
Not me.
I have
No,
every pretty much listening device listening to me. So
Yeah, but
if I say any of those things, half of those things are going to go. How can I help you?
What's your daily driver? What is your phone in pocket all day long?
I do have an iPhone. Oh, me? I have an iPhone because I got a iPhone or Apple Watch or whatever.
I'm an Android Samsung S22 Ultra.
Yeah, baby. Samsung all day.
I am a big iPhone lover.
Yeah, once I went to the iPhone, I've never looked back.
You're a MacBook Pro guy too, right? Last Dance.
I am.
Yeah, that's a fun.
I'm definitely a Mac snob.
And
So that
Macs are garbage. You can't game on a Mac.
Game? I do serious stuff. I'm a snob. I don't.
Well, you
know,
can do. The beauty of a PC is you can do the same shit and game.
Oh, please.
He
The
only
Fox
cares
News
about
app's
yelling
still
at
open
people
on
on Twitter. Sorry, Aphid.
I mean, does a Mac look this pretty?
Yeah.
What is that? Was that a refrigerator?
College fridge? Where's the beer?
Yeah, exactly. How many horsepower engine does it have?
Enough.
I tend to use solid state devices for my computing needs.
It's got an SSD in it, 512 gigabyte, 500 gigabyte.
Are you saying there's no moving parts in there?
No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans. No,
6
7
fans.
fans. 7 fans.
That's. What are you mining Bitcoin? How much fucking do you need? What are you doing?
He probably has the biggest graphics card that's sold.
Actually, no. It's got 9 fans. I forgot about the graphics card fans.
Anna, I'll show this comment, but not the one above it.
Excuse me, Anna, but adults can game too.
Adults can game. I game on my tiny little phone. I still play Call of Duty Mobile. Haven't paid 1 cent
I'm an
for that
adult,
thing. I love
honestly.
it.
Does it have zombies on there, Smokesteve?
No. But it has people from all over the world playing with you, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. I think they expect most people to move on to the real Call of Duty that you pay money for, but not me, man. I'm going to milk this sucker for $0, and I kill everybody on that shit, dude.
You're like the guy that goes to the all-you-can-eat buffet and actually costs them money.
Exactly. That's right.
Actually, cup of tea. Yes, I have played Get a Job Simulator.
That's funny.
It's really fun. It's designed for kids, but hey,
That's hilarious.
it's got a robot talking PC that tells you what to do, and you pick stuff up and you can throw shit all over the office.
That's funny.
Picked up some games today.
What games?
What games? All sorts. I've got Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2.
Oh.
I was asking Aphid, but you
okay.
What he was asking me because I said I picked up a few games today.
Yeah, what you
I got Army at 2.
That's an okay game. It's an old game though. That.
Well, all my games are old. That's what all my old devices, because you get them for like $5. I got Uncharted 4, and then Metal Gear Solid 4.
What'd you get? Pitfall? Do you remember that one?
No, I got. Yeah, that was old school. No, at the Goodwill, I picked up 4 controllers, and it was 75% off day. So I got them for dirt cheap because we know that they'll take them at the game store, and they pay you and give you in-store credit. So we took them in today, and they gave us $60 for them, and we picked up a couple games. I got some.
All right. What'd you make on this little scheme that you're buying from the church and selling over?
Well, like $10 for the 4 controllers, and then I had to order their Xbox 360 controllers, so they have like a battery pack that snaps into the back.
Okay.
And 2 of them didn't have that, so I had to buy a pack of those for it was $6 for 4 of them. And I walked up there. Well, the interesting thing is it was 6 for 4, and my son was with me, and they gave me $6 for just one of those battery packs.
Huh.
So he's like, "Dad, we figured out the money scheme. I'm gonna buy a bunch of these battery packs and take them in there, and they're gonna give me $6 each for them." So he already bought a 4-pack in there, and he's just gonna, because they give you 6 each. It's $24, and you only paid $6 for it, so you make $18.
Oh man!
And he thinks he's he's got this scheme where he's going to keep buying these 4 packs of these batteries and go to each different store and sell them.
The problem with that is you'll end up saturating their
Well,
market, and then they'll.
That's
not
what
be
my
worth
wife
as
told
much.
them. They're like, they're not gonna want to buy them anymore.
You'll get away with it for maybe 20 to 30 of them, and then
Right.
that's
Yes.
it. You'll have
Please.
saturated.
Come on, Goon. I'll tell you, Aphid Lip, one of these days you're going to go to one of those estate sales, and your son will already be there. And you'll kind of choke up and say, "That's my boy.
That's my boy. That's right.
I raised him right."
A little tear will, just like that Indian when he saw the trash.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys have flea markets out there? We used to have those here. They used to be awesome, but they suck now. I don't know.
We call them car boots here.
Dude, I used to be able to go to a flea market when I was 12 and buy, like, I could buy a spring-loaded fucking switchblade knife, double-edged, you could buy daggers, you could buy false-edge folding daggers, you could get everything. Throwing
They
stars.
don't have those. They don't have those anymore there.
No,
It
they're a
seems
little.
like
It's
go to a
different
flea
now.
market to still get that.
You can get that stuff still.
I don't know. I haven't been to a flea market in
was
years.
selling like 100 knives in boxes for like $75. So you were to buy the 100 knives and then go sell them for like $5 a piece, and you would make some dough. It was like
Nearest one to me is situated in the car park of Keepmoat Stadium at Doncaster Rovers.
Yeah, the car.
Every Sunday they hold a car boot
Right.
sale.
All right, my Gimp boy.
Hello.
Oh, and we got Welshie.
All right, now we're rocking.
Good evening, lads.
Good evening.
There he
How you
is.
doing,
Hey,
fellas?
base.
Off goes the cam.
Well, yeah,
Just to verify he's who he is.
that's it.
Appreciate
We don't.
it.
We know what he looks like.
I didn't even
Brits
see
are
Goon
outnumbering
get
the
on.
Americans tonight.
Hey, good pub last night. Last Dance's Gimp boy.
Pub? I don't do a pub stream.
I mean, good jam last night.
Doesn't everybody have a Gimp boy? Is it? Are you
I was
saying
pre-reading your.
Wait,
your
I
huge...
changed my name. I didn't. It shouldn't be this again. Damn it,
That was awesome. You were getting that one dude was taking care of business, dude.
dude. Jesus, he. I worked out he spent $240 on me last night,
Oh my
Incredible.
god!
and I've never
dude.
met him before. Like the first time he's ever been in my channel.
That's crazy.
I know.
What's
So
that?
you didn't even have to touch him? Like there was nothing you had to touch on him or anything?
Nothing sexual.
No, he didn't have to go down on him or any of the things he usually does to get that
Man.
much money.
Yeah.
How do I get to
Good
your
for
channel? How do I get to your channel? 'Cause I've-
It's on Twitch. It's not.
It's on Twitch.
YouTube. Yeah.
Right. What do I
Lee
do? when I-
on the Discord, right when he goes live every Friday, he posts a link in the Discord.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
there's
cool.
a channel called.
He's got his
my
own little
name.
channel. It says Random Goon down at the bottom, and then you
Right.
just go there, click on it, and there'll be a link bringing you right into his
Oh, right.
thing.
Cool.
It used to be able to listen for free, but I have a feeling that the entry fee now is $200.
Yeah, it's $200 to get in, but
Right.
I
Yeah,
promise you
right.
it's fine.
Like my cheap ass, I'm gonna watch him and be like, I can't request a song after this clown.
You meet some crazy people online. A friend of mine got a donator that donates £1,000, £2,000 a time.
Damn.
Wow.
The dude
Hey,
is probably
Martin.
loaded, I would think, right?
It's that's not me, but, but it's unbelievable. I've seen that his PayPal payments is crazy.
What was he doing to get 2,000
He made a very, very viral video that went all around the internet, and it was he went to a stand-up refugees are welcome rally, and everyone he asked the questions who had a sign that said refugees are welcome here, and he said, will you sign them up in your house? And he had like an A4 bit of paper, looked reasonably official, and yeah, that video went like crazy viral, and then this guy called Sadiq Khan, not the real Sadiq Khan, and he started donating money, crazy money.
Wow.
So did he have like a clipboard and, you know?
Yeah, the video is only about a minute and a half long. It's
Okay.
fucking hilarious.
Oh,
It's
I'd love to
fucking-
put it in the back chat.
I will.
Put it in the back chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to see that. Please
Hey,
put
hey,
it up.
Welsh, were you did you get the boot from YT for 2 weeks?
No, I didn't. No.
You didn't get kicked off. Okay.
To-
Have you
to-
ever?
To be fair with you, though, if I did, I wouldn't have answered you correctly for obvious reasons.
Right.
But on this occasion, I'd like to say no.
Okay.
But I've had many strikes. Not my first channel.
Okay. Understood.
So
So-
every strike I've had in the last 3 years has been medical misinformation. Basically, every single one.
Okay.
Even with no commentary or nothing, just watching. Remember, there was that nurse that I don't know. She had an episode shortly after she had something, and she collapsed. It was an American nurse named Tiffany Dover. Anyway,
Ben's wife?
Oh, Jesus, you beat me to it.
hey. Yeah, I took a strike. I took a strike for showing that video. It was crazy. I did no commentary, nothing.
You could just kick me off.
I was almost there. I was thinking, do you not mean bend over? But no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But
if
you got the better one, not Ben's wife. Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah, Google her name. So you watch her. The thing is, it's crazy. If you put it in YouTube now, it'll come up on YouTube. So they struck all independent channels and left it all on CBS and whatever. In fact, I ripped it off a mainstream media channel and
Doesn't
put it on
make
my
any sense.
no
From
TOS.
from their standpoint, like, why not just let everybody? That's the thing. Fair news is the one thing we have left for fair use. I can't
Yeah.
play movies. I can't play shows. I can't play comedy, but I can play the news.
Yep.
But
But basically, I never normally appeal, and I did on this. I gave a serious appeal, and I gave five links to that exact clip that was still on their platform, and they were all like mainstream media, so they weren't going to get a strike or anything. And they said, yeah, but no. I said, you got 5 examples on your platform now showing the same clip with commentary. I said there was no commentary on mine, but yeah.
Well, I gotta say, Rumble is still growing.
I see it. It is.
And if they're able to offer content creators some decent amount of money, they might start dipping in and cutting into YouTube's monopoly.
are you a Rumble content creator?
I am not.
Okay.
I will be soon.
Oh,
Last
no
Dance
kidding,
is
huh?
strictly OnlyFans.
That's right.
If anything goes on it, really, isn't it? You know, it's like YouTube used to be 10 years ago.
My body is my art.
I honestly found when Rumble came out, I was like, what the fuck is this? A place where people are going to go fight? Like, because here you call a fight a Rumble? Like,
I know.
I was like, is this literally going to be just like people yelling at each other? And now
Well, you know.
it's actually becoming very popular, but they're still stuck with this. Frankly, I got to say it. I think it's a stupid name. But
Unless you have Michael Buffer doing the intro to it.
Right.
Let's get ready to rumble!
It's just bizarre, man. But hey, they're stuck with it.
Well, we lost Based. He's
And I
busy
think that's where it came from. There was this discussions that were going on that were maybe heated, but you want people to be able to talk, and that's what Rumble was thinking. You could go here, you can
So this is
have
another
debates.
free speech site then. The
Yeah.
alternative to YouTube. I've never heard of it. Because there's so many of these things trying to happen before, and they just fall flat on their ass.
Some of them do, some of them don't. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Telegram is another one. I think that is, I don't know. Are you guys on that? Anybody?
I've been a Telegram user for many, many years.
I know
What
the
is-
newspaper.
I
What's
use
the
it.
difference? What is it?
I mean, Telegram, I think of as more as a chat app. You and your family. The way I did it was my family members had Telegram. I asked them to get Telegram, and then I could send them text messages. And it's because it's multi-platform. It didn't matter whether you had an iPhone or an Android or any phone because they made apps for all of them. So
So is it like a WhatsApp sort of thing?
yes, it's very similar to WhatsApp.
Okay.
Very similar.
So I have a buddy who's Irish, and he uses WhatsApp to communicate with his family in Ireland because it's basically free, So
Right.
Yeah, it's just internet. Yeah,
communicating.
it's Facebook, isn't it? WhatsApp. Isn't WhatsApp owned by Facebook?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but wouldn't that compete with Messenger?
It does, and supposedly they were going to integrate the two, but they
Oh, I hope they don't, because I don't like WhatsApp. Because
I
don't
think
either.
a lot of people
you
feel the same.
you have to share your mobile number with people. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, WhatsApp is not something I particularly like.
It's used heavily by scammers as well.
Yeah, all of them are. Telegram too.
Hey,
But you've got to be an idiot to fall for some of the scams.
Yeah, but when you're on
I do
dating
too,
sites,
Lee.
on dating sites, they always try and swindle you over to WhatsApp so they can speak privately and get you to spend money on them.
Yeah.
Jerks.
Horse?
I know. I have learned over the last 3 weeks what fucking scammers tactics are.
I
As soon as they mention what do you do for work, you can fuck off. I know you're a scammer.
I apologise. I keep sending you them messages, Biscuit. It came from the heart, really. Not from down here.
Why do you keep using Asian birds?
I like the noises they make.
That's good stuff. Have you been? Now we got to ask, Biscuit. Have you been on some dating sites?
Yeah, I was on 11 of them.
Grinder. What else?
No, not Grindr.
11 different.
I think the
Grindr, Turd Burglar, Grinder 2.
the most successful one is Bumble.
Bumble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was for seniors.
Bumble. No, Bumble's.
Well, he's been scoring like mad.
Well, I won't say scoring, but I've been messaging quite a lot of seemingly. What's the word?
Senior citizens.
No.
Alive.
No, seemingly,
Excellent dentures.
seemingly
Not catatonic.
like
Still
real
get
people,
moist.
like real people, not fake people.
Oh,
Okay.
I couldn't think of the
I'll be back now.
the word I was looking for was
Thanks, Base.
authentic. There's more authentic people on there.
yeah.
All right.
To be
Actual
honest,
people.
my friends met his wife on a dating app, but it was one of them premium ones that you pay for monthly. So
I was
think
I was on Match for a while, but it's a bit crap.
How much did she cost?
Aphid only sleeps 8 hours a week.
$8.99 a month. it's like an Amazon Prime subscription.
Not bad.
She came with free shipping next day.
Man, don't get me started on Amazon Prime. I
Hey,
got a whole
cup of tea.
bunch of
If
complaints.
they only want me for my body, they can have me for my body.
It's in that video you requested. It's in the back chat.
I saw that. Thank you.
Oh, cheers.
Thanks for mentioning back chat too, Based. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. I've got an interview that it might be nice to analyze on the 20
Let's
year
do it.
Let's go for it.
near the 20-year anniversary of the invasion of Iraq.
Weapons of mass destruction there was.
45 minutes.
So we're gonna
Is it
just
the first war or second?
the second. The first one was around the early 90s. Desert
Storm.
Yeah.
The good
Yeah.
one or the bad one? Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
back
got-
then we had the OJ trial. We had Desert Storm. Man, there was some good TV watching during the day.
Today we just had a skyscraper-sized asteroid fly between the moon and the Earth, I think.
Yeah, and some flying balloons.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
it
did you train that?
it was floating along by balloons.
Yeah.
Skyscraper. Don't hear that one anymore. All right, here we go.
Skyscraper. Not since 9/11.
That's wrong.
Don't believe the hype.
That's funny. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is off of NPR. This is an interview with John Bolton. So it's
the warmonger.
Audio only. We're gonna we'll get through a question or two. We can talk when it sounds like a reasonable spot.
Okay.
All right, so here we go.
At the end of this week of Remembering the War in Iraq, we hear John Bolton, who defends the decision to start it. The United States invaded 20 years ago. U.S. troops never found the weapons of mass destruction used to justify the war and instead triggered an insurgency. This week we've heard American veterans, Iraqi civilians, and a man the U.S. once imprisoned. We've also heard a former top U.S. military officer who says the war was a mistake. In 2003, John Bolton was a senior diplomat in President George W. Bush's administration. He has written in the National Review that the decision to invade was right, even if later decisions were wrong. What's the distinction in your mind?
Well, I think it's a mistake to treat a 20-plus year period as a block of granite. You accept one piece of it, you accept all of it. I don't think that's right. So I think you have to look at a series of decisions, some of which were right in my view, some of which were wrong, and judge each of them on their own. And you have to do it on the basis of how decision makers face these questions when they're confronted with them. Hindsight, as the saying goes, is always 20/20.
Wasn't it foreseeable that taking over a country of 27 million people or so probably would be very, very hard, very expensive, a very long process?
No, I don't think it was inevitable that was going to happen in any event.
Maybe not inevitable, but wasn't it foreseeable that
totally
would be a very
destabilize the
likely
country?
outcome?
It was a potential outcome, that's right, and I think there were decisions made after the invasion that were mistaken. But some things occurred that nobody foresaw, particularly the utter collapse of the Iraqi government.
Bolton says it's important.
All right, so I think that initially, I think that sounds like complete bullshit. What he
It's just
said.
totally asinine. It's just, it's amazing.
I mean,
Yeah, it is. It's like he's taking no responsibility, and they went to war on core beliefs that were a lie or incorrect.
I mean,
I
for
mean,
him to
saying
say-
hindsight is 20/20. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, everything you did was
And
wrong.
we should learn from
I
our
mean-
mistakes.
Right.
Let's look at it on the other side. Where would we be now if this war didn't happen?
Oh, we'd be.
Well,
we would have.
there'll be 500,000 people still alive in Iraq.
That's
Right.
true, but would there be 500,000 dead in the US and the UK from bombings that
Well,
would have
it wasn't them
happened?
that bombed it. It wasn't them that done it, was it?
Yeah.
Just the opposite. Hussein,
You just
Saddam
made
Hussein.
Hold on. I was only asking the question as a
I know.
as a what's the word? Fucking devil's advocate. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think things would have been much better. We would have had Saddam Hussein in power. He's really far more of an ally than, even as an enemy, he's more of an ally than the Iranian-backed government, Shia government that's there. I mean, Saddam was a counterbalance to Iran.
I mean, how much a cunt he was, which he was a cunt. He was a Sunni. He was a Sunni. He looked after all the Sunnis. The Shiites had a terrible time there. They had all the shitty jobs and everything else. But the reality was, he held them together. However wrong he was, however nasty he was, and he treated the Kurds like pieces of shit.
Yeah, but Welshmen,
In history, the five countries that are Kurdistan, or the area of Kurdistan, have always treated him like shit. That's literally been. Go on.
Lee,
One thing I
what
don't-
were you about to say?
The one thing I don't think the West understands is that some countries, although it might not be what they believe in, need a dictator. I mean, Iraq was a perfect example. The only way you can keep all those warring factions at bay is that you have to be very, almost live in a world of terror. If you don't, then it just creates a mess that it's in now that the Americans have gone. So you've got to wake up sometimes. Some countries actually do need a dictator.
Similar to Muammar Gaddafi.
Yes. Yes.
So what we're saying is those countries are so backward that they're like what we used to be like maybe 400 or 500 years ago.
Can you step
I
away
would
from
not
the
use
mic a little
Lee's.
bit,
I wouldn't
Biscuit?
say what Lee said.
Let's not
I would-
forget. Let's not forget. The Americans aren't stupid. They know that if the way to destabilize
Yeah.
those countries for
Well,
one reason or another.
They are. They
let-
had no plan B, did they? They had no plan B.
Stupid.
Let's
They
be
went there. They took the leader away. They took the leader away. They destabilized the country, killed hundreds of thousands of citizens, and they wonder why there was a big civil war going on in there
Yeah,
after
but
they left.
maybe there was a plan A. Maybe there was like a coup or something that fucked up, and we never hear about. And they were like, "Well, shit. How else do we do this?"
Oh, we definitely tried
Well-
that, but that never worked.
Yeah, precisely. So they went with, well, plan fuck it.
And the video did show up briefly on Live Leak of Saddam Hussein's hanging when his head became detached from his body. The guy who filmed that with his phone did get in trouble, but that was another
But
thing.
he got a lot of clout on TikTok.
On Live Leak, surely did.
Well,
Yeah.
It was grainy as fuck, but we still got.
I don't
to see
remember
it.
his head popping off.
I don't remember that either.
I feel like I
heard
saw that video. You sure his head popped off?
Was he filming it like with his using it, pulling the camera up, or did he have like a hip angle? Like a sly hip angle. How did he do
had a
it?
selfie stick, and he was.
I think his head popped off.
Well,
How do you Google search that? Did his arm?
You can't do it with the fact checkers now anyway, can you? The fact checkers say don't fact check.
you could
I don't
probably
even know
watch it
what I
on
just said.
Pornhub or
His
something. Watch Saddam get fucked.
But you could just go on Wikipedia and do hanging of Saddam Hussein, and it will tell you.
Yeah, or just do decapitated Saddam and see if the.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, I
Wikipedia
was
is
told
the
his head-
fucking
this-
source.
Great talking, Ely.
It's always quite telling when your so-called leader or one of your leaders, Hillary Clinton, laughs when she witnesses live feeds of Colonel Gaddafi getting buggered by sticks and beat to death. I thought that was quite interesting.
We've all
Shows the
laughed at
character.
those kind of videos before.
That's
That's just locker room talk. You know that.
No, locker room talk is grab her by the pussy. That's locker room talk. Laughing.
Okay,
someone
his
get
head didn't
buggered.
pop off. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's what I heard.
By the bussy based.
I can't even remember. I can visually picture what it looked like. I feel like it was like almost like at a place that would have like a play. There was almost like a stage.
Chemical Ali's head popped off. Thank you, Cup of Tea. Yes. Go ahead. It was like a stage, kind of.
Yeah, and
Right.
the guy that was filming was like up high, higher than where he was where he got hung.
Right.
I still think like somebody like Jake Paul should go in on these executions and just be like, "Yo, YouTube here, Jake Paul got a selfie stick." Just like
Wasn't
he
Jake
did-
Paul the one who found the guy who
Yeah.
hung himself?
That's
in
what I
the
was
forest
thinking.
in
Yeah.
Japan?
that's
He did in Japan in the forest. He said, "I'm going to the suicide forest where people hang themselves.
Themselves.
Let's go. Let's go." And he goes, "Oh no!" And they're about 50 foot away, and they show this person hanging on a tree. They're like,
was-
"Oh no, there's someone hanging."
It was literally the video's picture, like fucking picture for the video before you click on it. It's just like a blurred image and him just going, "Oh no."
Yeah, with his hand in his mouth, looking shocked, going, "Oh no!
Yeah.
Look, there's a dead human hanging from a tree."
Oh woo!
All right,
Hey,
let's
if Saddam's head popped off, that explains his character in South Park with his floppy head on top of his.
Yeah, that's what they did it for, didn't it? That's what they did it, man.
All right, here we go. We'll continue.
So, what do you think about France then? This is, you watch this. What you got here? Oh, you got
Let's
that one.
It's the rest of it. We're not finished it yet.
Okay.
Important
yeah.
to recall the times after the 9/11 attacks, when the United States didn't know what threats might lurk. At that time, some officials did fear the U.S. was setting unrealistic goals for reordering the world. We played one such voice for John Bolton, Republican Congressman Jim Leach, who spoke with me on NPR back in January of 2003.
I've never known a time period where something called hubris is less appropriate. This is a time period to think and act with the greatest degree of caution.
Ambassador, with the greatest respect, was there perhaps some hubris in the idea that the United States could get in quickly to that country and get out again?
Well, I don't know whether there was or not, since we did get in quickly. The period of major combat operations lasted from March the 20th to May the 1st, and the military's performance was superb. And I don't know.
Maybe the hubris was on the other side.
And then the shit happened then after that.
Please,
I don't know anybody who criticizes that. Now, in terms of, let's say, hubris versus prudence, the United States had been attacked on 9/11 to devastating effect. Terrorist groups were still around in the Middle East and worldwide. What's the most prudent thing to do? My view was then and is today the most prudent thing to do from the point of view of innocent civilians of the United States is remove the threat.
You write that no one lied about WMD, weapons of mass destruction. When I read that, I immediately recalled the 16 famous words from a speech by President Bush.
The British government has learned that Saddam Hussein recently sought significant quantities of uranium from Africa.
Every part of that statement turned out to be false, and it seems the writers of that speech knew that it was doubtful at best because they didn't source it to U.S. intelligence. They sourced it from something they'd supposedly heard from the British. Wasn't that awfully close to a lie?
Well,
Blame us, eh?
how you define
Blame
a lie,
us.
because
Blame
if you
us.
believe that's a lie, then a lot of what I hear on NPR on any given day is a lie. To me, a
Oh,
lie.
come on.
Yeah, we didn't go to war.
Come
Didn't go to war, did you?
Did you hear that? A lot what I hear
That
on
was-
NPR.
That was asinine what he just said.
He's a total cunt, isn't he? He really is.
I mean, that just shows you how weak his argument is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's, I mean, to compare going to war and with the resulting death of 400,000 civilians and so much, obviously, military death, and then totally destabilizing that region, not just that country.
Right. I mean, you could say that the Syrian war was triggered by the Iraqi insurgent groups.
And then he says you do fake news anyway, so it's like the same, isn't it?
Yeah, and the defense of
I thought
NPR,
that
this is a-
interview. I thought
You
that
heard
interview
this?
with that guy. No, I didn't. But I thought he did a great job and was it's you don't hear such
challenge.
I said it before. I think NPR is more unbiased than any other mainstream.
Oh my God.
Well, in this,
more unbiased. I mean, if you wanna try to prove that somebody else is less biased than that was, then I'm all ears. But I don't think there is. So.
it depends on the
Journalism's
subject matter.
dead, isn't it? Journalism. Sorry, Steve.
It's all right. I was just saying it depends on the subject matter. I find with historical, context stuff like this and interviewing him, this was a pretty good, straightforward interview, and I don't
push
think
them hard questions. Got it. Doesn't,
Well, they
doesn't matter
will
what
push
you
them
look like.
if they're hard
Yeah, he did.
questions for Republicans or conservatives. They'll push them a lot more than they will when they're liberal. That's the nature of
Either that or
NPR.
they'll push them in the way that makes you look like a dickhead.
Yeah, but why is it taking 20 years to ask these questions? Let's be fair. Let's be honest about it. We knew the answers. We knew the answers to a lot of these questions. 20 years ago, 18 years ago, right? No one was really challenging Bolton then because it was too soon. I mean, journalism's dead in the Western world. It's fucked. I mean, it's all well and good 20 years later asking an awkward question or two. It's all fucking done, isn't it? Damage done.
I mean, I don't think it's the first time he's been asked those questions. It's just the 20th anniversary.
It's
and
the
he was
20th, yeah.
put on the spot.
I think it's not dead.
You don't get an opinion. You're drinking lady juice right now.
What do you
It
mean
is-
it's
it is
not
pretty
dead?
sweet shit.
Oh man, that's
Journalism.
I think.
Why did it have to be lady juice just because it's got sugar in it, huh?
Yes.
Only ladies allowed sugar.
It's so
My
sweet.
mum
It's
drinks
sickly
that by the
sweet.
gallon. So.
Did anyone see Posey Parker getting attacked in New Zealand today?
I heard about it, but I didn't see any of the videos.
Unreal. It really is.
I'll tell you why it's not dead, because there are independent journalists who are fleeing partisan journalism and trying to get back into independent more.
Yeah,
than
I'm on about legacy media, really, though. From a legacy media,
course
the
that's
reason why I mentioned Posey Parker is because the New Zealand's press had described her as a neo-Nazi, and she's a feminist. She's a feminist. She doesn't get involved in any of the politics.
Yeah.
They
She
will
is.
eat their own. Just
But so mainstream media has labelled her some far right extremist Nazi. It's unreal. It's unreal, now she's getting like violently attacked, and that's the result of twisted media.
Yeah.
I think that we need to stop, just lumping this mainstream media. I mean, people get their news and their information from so many different sources, and I think mainstream media is just a scapegoat.
But the normies, I know what you're saying, David, but the normies listen to that in New Zealand. They come out and fought her like a couple of days later, and they violently attacked lots of people. She was assaulted repeatedly. It's crazy.
There is a mainstream media. They do get huge. It's shrinking, but they
didn't get it wrong though.
That's it.
They didn't get it wrong. They lied. They outright lied and slandered her.
What was she?
One of the reasons like Fox News, it's the main like conservative based outlet. There's more, but obviously Fox News is the largest here in the United States. And I would bet that 40% of the population of the United States gets their news from Fox News exclusively, almost.
Well, you just said that that's not the case.
No. What I'm saying is mainstream media is never. Fox News is never included in mainstream media. I mean, it is technically.
Of course,
but when
it
people
is.
complain about. But even when you have complained about mainstream media lying and stuff, you'll give the acronym of everybody, but you omit Fox from your.
I never omit Fox. I always include them.
I even called you out on it. I'll go back and find it.
Well, just because you called me out on it doesn't mean you were right.
Can you line up that video?
What's that?
Can you line up that video, that like 1 minute Twitter clip I sent you?
Shout!
Hold on, there were people talking.
Basically. I just want them to line it up.
He's just excited. He's like an 11-year-old Christmas.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll get to it.
He's got back chat all loaded up, ready to go. He can't help himself.
Let me look at that.
Aww.
It is true.
It's next to me, isn't he? I'm just going to pat his head. Okay.
I find, all the media is crapola, right? I mean, hello.
But what I'm saying is those 40%, when they complain about mainstream media, they're not including Fox when they complain about it. And mainstream media is this just portion of everything that gets lumped together. And that's a perfect example where if almost half of the population get their news source from something, why does it matter what this mainstream media,
Well, it matters because of the normies. Aphid, it matters because of the normies. It doesn't matter because of you and me.
Well, what's normies? Because
people read
guys named Norm
at sight. They don't analyze it. They don't think about it. They just go, "Oh, I'm fed this. This must be true."
So they see the headline.
Well, I agree.
They see the headline, Posey Parker Nazi, and then that's it.
Yeah. Then they go about their day and like they'll tweet about it, like, "Oh, she's a fucking
Nazi."
Did you read the article? I don't need to. I saw a headline and a picture of her.
I don't get what you're saying, Aphid, because it's just not the case. 90% of the people will see the headline and they'll.
What I'm saying, it's stealing the focus of what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on how such a large portion of the population is so, they get fed in this information and whether no matter what party they're on, they're still getting. The gullible aspect of and I think when we just lump everything as mainstream media, it's not just mainstream media. It's Twitter. It's all these people that we follow. It's Fox News.
But we get alternate views on other channels, on other platforms.
For example, I went down this wormhole this last week of this is a comedian that was on Saturday Night Live. His name's Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
I've seen him recently. He was on Rogan. He was on Rogan not long ago.
Oh, was he? I'll have to look that up. So, did he come off as just like kind of a little bit nuts when he was on Joe Rogan?
Well, no, not to me, because I just think he's got a lot of questions that he's asking that I think a lot of people think maybe are nuts sounding, but I think he's asking some important questions.
Well, you think like all the questions he's asking? Because the sample that I got just from looking at his channel, like
See,
for
some-
example, Joe
like a
Biden.
headline.
Joe Biden is not the real Joe Biden. He's like some. I don't know what he was trying to get at. Like he's
No,
some.
he's a 7 foot. fucking
He's
alien
some
in a skin
like
suit.
robot, maybe
An
or
imposter?
an imposter. Like went on and on and on about this with some other guy, and then the
No,
other thing
not
was
that question.
well,
I think
the other thing was
Biden. There could be a case to be made that Biden is sort of a shell of himself mentally.
but he's still the same person. His DNA matches. The
Yes,
same
DNA
person.
is the same.
If he were a
He's-
That's
robot,
what
I
I'm
would be
saying.
so disappointed in that robot.
I mean, he's kind of
AI
You know-
hasn't come that far last
Right.
time.
that thing I played like probably 5 weeks ago of him at the. He's at the. It's a microchip factory, and he's talking about nano chips, and he goes into the 3 nano chip. You know what I'm saying? 3 nanos. And he's like kind of lost. He's just,
Did he start whispering then? Because he whispers a
No,
lot
but
when he
I've
makes
seen that
speeches.
one
He
before.
had
When
to,
he's
he had
like,
to go off and
he's
sniff
like-
a young girl's hair.
he's like, I knew it all along.
Yeah, that's it.
I knew it all.
No joke. No joke, eh?
Bizarre. But you're right. Like,
It's upsetting that he's in the place that he's in, but that's
Yeah.
where we're at.
You
We have to
voted him
deal
in.
with it. So, but
But
anyway,
think he has
back to this Jim-
dementia. He has
back to this-
honestly
yeah.
dementia or something.
Well, he has something. But anyway, back to
I
this
believe
Jim
it's the
Brewer.
PR team handling everything, not him.
Okay. You were saying about we'll go on the legacy media again because I would suggest no one on this panel would have taken their actions they would have taken if it wasn't for the 24-hour fear porn from mainstream media the last 3 years. Hey,
what now again?
well, the fear porn you were all given for
What are
3
you talking
years.
about? Which actions?
Oh, about
The Kung
COVID.
Flu
Jim-
fear
yeah.
porn. Kung Flu
I
fear,
didn't get.
fear porn.
I'm not vaccinated. Which
No,
standing
okay.
this pressure all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes 2 of us, but we're the odd 2.
3.
Good man.
Never. The only place where
No.
there's a German saying, the only place where you can spray something is in bed. Yeah.
That's good.
Mm.
I
Not
like
in
that.
the
It was,
Oh.
it was worth being concerned about. I mean,
Yeah, but they lied to you. They lied to you about the jib jab. They lied to you about transmission. They lied to you about the effectiveness of it. They lied to you. They lied about everything. Keep kids at school. It's better. No, it wasn't. Loads
You
of
know-
things.
Before I started this up live, I had to go and see Trump over in Waco, Texas. He was actually on live. So it was Smokesteve versus Trump for ratings. I think Trump might have beat me.
David,
But,
David Koresh.
Never. I'd have
But-
voted for you,
but
Steve.
Trump was literally saying, they shut everything down. Ron DeSantis, he shut down Florida. He even shut down the beaches in Florida. I'm like, damn, that is a good line. Like, the Republicans are going to be like, Ron DeSantis shut down the beaches? Man, like, not the Republicans, but, the people who are really looking hard at that will use that. Like, wow, they shut down the beaches.
It's very
It's
sad
like-
that they're fighting each other. It's very sad that they're fighting
Well, let
each
me
other.
tell
It
you
really is.
this. He's right. Shutting down beaches was the dumbest
Yep.
fucking thing ever. I saw a guy in Spain who was like on the beach swimming and shit. Fucking riot cops came down and arrested his ass. It was like,
Yeah.
what is he gonna get down there?
There was a couple of
I wanna
cases.
know
A guy
what
went in,
Steve-
started swimming, and then he come out and run away. And they're chasing him with fucking jeeps and stuff.
I
It's-
want to know what his speech was like. Was it like the opposite of Churchill? Like, we'll get them off the beaches. We'll get them out the parks. They'll stay in their homes.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knew. Anyway, the outdoor air and sun is good for you, and exercise is good for you. And basically, they said in the
I don't agree
UK,
with that. That we know that now. That's but
we knew that then.
No, we didn't.
Well, I did.
mean, Ron DeSantis didn't, or he wouldn't have done that.
I thought I did.
All the globalists went down the same route. Yeah, all the globalists went down the same route.
We were told to stay indoors.
I thought that was bullshit. I thought it was bullshit because outdoors, with wind and breezes, there was zero risk of transmission. I always had been hearing that from very early on.
Yeah.
The biggest risk was indoor, close contact, 10 to 15 minutes exposure was the CDC thing early on. You're walking past somebody, being near somebody when there's breezes and stuff. I'm not kidding, Last Dance. I always thought that we were okay outside.
I think we were always skeptical. I didn't stay indoors. I went outside and I exercised even when, they were supposed to stay indoors. But, for people like DeSantis, he's not a doctor. So he's listening to what he thinks of as
but you got to
authoritative sources, which would be the federal government.
Yeah, maybe he changed his views because you start listening with your gut in the end as well, don't you? And if it doesn't feel right.
Well, eventually the authorities said, no, just kidding. It's not really, it doesn't really spread outdoors.
Florida did open up when places like New York was in full-time lockdown as AOC went on a holiday.
What was the goal? What do you think the goal for the government? I mean, to destroy their income.
No. Trump was against it, though, wasn't he?
The goal was a test run for other such operations, of course, because there are many. Now in Germany, we have the climate stuff, right? I mean, with the climate stuff, you can also say stay indoors, don't use your car, and so on. It was a test run what they can do to people.
So you think every world leader got together and was like, "Hey, let's pull one over so we can test out for the future."
Yes,
that's how it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, well, look at it. We spent four.
Why is that so crazy? Why is that so crazy, Aphid?
It's not.
Why would they cooperate?
Trump would be saying right now, "Hey, all these leaders got together," and he would win because he would prove to all of us that people like you are right. But that's not what he's saying. Right. He's saying somebody's stupid for making the decision they did.
Well, he did say shit like that in 2016, and look what happened to him from 2016 to 2020. He got fucking destroyed from every angle, didn't he? They started attacking him from every angle.
We are right because you see how they all now give weapons to Ukraine.
He knows to keep his mouth shut now. He knows to keep his mouth shut now, doesn't he?
As you should know that the greed of man is so powerful that you think that all these world leaders can get together and help each other out is silly talk. I mean, really.
No,
so you've never heard of Davos or anything like that, have you?
Of course, we've heard of it.
Well, yeah. We get billionaires. They come in private jets, and then they get private helicopters to get to the last gig to talk about climate change and very, very important decisions that go out through the world. Billionaires, non-elected people, most important people in the world, all get together and have a fucking chinwag. I mean, what
are you saying they shouldn't be allowed to get together?
I'm not. But it's nothing's open, is it?
But if they do get together, you think they're plotting some world secretly. World domination that they're all going to agree with, even though most of the time they are the most vicious competitors in business.
Right.
Yeah, but I've got some thoughts. You can work together. You can work together. And let's be honest, but we were just talking about the Iraq wars, and our authorities will lie to us. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them at all. Would you?
I've got some thoughts on the climate change thing. It's twofold. Number one. It goes a little something like this.
Here's a little smoke gritter.
If they wanted us to reduce carbon, they would make nuclear power accessible everywhere, and that would charge electric cars, and you would have an insane reduction in the amount of carbon we put into the atmosphere. But that's not at all what they're telling us.
Now, one country is doing that.
In the United States, 65% of our electricity is generated from natural gas, which produces a ton of carbon. The pipes that send the natural gas to these massive generators are huge, and they're pushing such a volume of gas to be burned every minute, every hour, every day, which is then gonna in turn power our electric cars, and that's gonna reduce carbon. Does that make a lot of sense? Maybe it does. Maybe there's some air scrubbing technology that they can reduce the carbon slightly from these power plants, but in reality, it's not a huge advantage.
No, they don't reduce carbon at all in emissions.
That's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
So, what this is about that they're telling us is that we have to reduce our carbon emissions by 50% by 2050 or else we're all doomed. Complete bullshit. If they really thought that, they would be pushing nuclear power and really getting rid of all the burning of fossil fuels.
Right, because you could do that. We have the technology, and even the most serious risks of nuclear power pale in comparison to the doom we're being sold if we don't get rid of carbon. So,
but yet they're not pushing the nuclear.
No, they're not pushing it.
You have to question that.
Well, there's two things to that. One is the most important thing is people don't want a nuclear power plant in their backyard. They just don't. They don't think it's safe.
Care.
Well, people are fucked.
What, just in your backyard?
And so the people vote in those people. So if you got to have a governor that's going to be like, okay, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build 3 power plants, nuclear, right in our backyards. Vote for me. And he's not going to get voted.
Oh,
the second part of that is...
There's industrial zones for such specific things.
I don't disagree with you, by the way. I think nuclear power is the way of the future.
What if they came on and said...
up in some people's backyard, there's industrial zones for that purpose. They're going to stick it out.
It's going to be in somebody's backyard.
Really?
Somebody's backyard is everywhere in the United States.
Well, essentially...
Oh, come on. There's a lot of... Surely there's places that's industrial zone.
Well, these natural gas generators that exist now, these electrical power stations that produce the power, not just transmit it, are huge. They would be replaced with nuclear.
Yeah, it'll go replace. Steve, I was told, and in my brain, it's my brain, that you sell. Obviously, you know, obviously the Nord Stream pipeline. The Russians blew it up. You know about that, yeah.
Of course.
But you know, I always follow the money. Well, it turns out the Americans are now serving the money that the Russians would have in that pipeline. And what I was told is liquid gas that the Russians serve the Europeans at 5 times the rate. But you said majority, 65% of your is natural, isn't it? Natural gas.
Yes.
What is the difference between natural and liquid anyway? That'd be a good one.
Storage, I think.
No, well, I mean, it's liquefied natural gas. That's what it is. So it's
the same
cooled.
thing.
It's cooled, and when it becomes cool enough, it turns to a liquid, and it's very dense.
Right.
Much denser than the gaseous version.
More stable, but when there's a leak, if you've ever seen a ship that has natural gas in it, it has the giant letters LNG on the side, liquefied natural gas. Right. And these things have special rules in the ocean, man. Like, stay the fuck away, because floating bomb. You
Basically.
know what I'm saying? Giant floating bomb.
Yeah.
So, but it's about storage and keeping it cold, and it's essentially the same thing.
So,
I fired on ice cubes, and I can't get my fucking energy bill to get lower. So,
well, now that you brought it up, has anyone ever seen someone light a fart on fire? I've never seen that live, only on the
No, but go right ahead, Smokesteve. Come on.
No, we've all seen it, right? Like,
I've seen it on
even
video.
people clothed do it, and they're like, it's a huge explosion of farting.
Yeah, but not live. Come on.
Well, I don't have anything built up, bro. I've been eating light lately, so no beans today. I'm sorry.
That's why only a fart. When I was in school, we blew up trash cans with such little gas cans, you know. We had little gas cans with butane gas, yeah?
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's camping gas, yeah? And we would blow up entire trash cans. Trash flew like...
That's a pretty big explosion if you blow up a propane
the police
canister.
came, but we ran away already. Unfortunately, I have no videos.
We weren't there, so it was fine. Don't worry.
It was 20 years ago.
Are you on about dry ice?
No, she's talking about propane.
No, propane gas.
My dad once blew a duck.
We have a cousin that lost an arm and 2 eyebrows, but
my dad once took the oxygen from a welding bottle and filled those rubber gloves.
Yeah.
He filled a rubber glove with just the right amount of propane and oxygen, and he blew a door off in his office of his work.
That's like an acetylene torch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus
He mixed it with a little bit of propane. And
Dad's a bit of a wild man, isn't he?
Wow.
Well, because he was the foreman at this place.
He was a foreman?
He was a foreman.
I'm going to explode this door. It's all right. I'm the manager. It's my door.
As long as you guys are wearing a hard hat, it's okay.
Yeah.
From what you've said, he's also like a crazy car mechanic too, right? So he's got kind of that knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, 2 of the employees literally shat themselves and had to go home to get changed.
And that caused secondary explosions.
Not bad. Well done.
Well, a lunatic friend of mine.
Nuclear explosion chain, then.
Yeah, a lunatic friend of mine had dry ice, and we used to go to this campsite in West Wales, and he could get dry ice in work, and he would use it to then cool down his beers on the weekend. And because dry ice is like minus 180 or something, you can put your beer in there and you set it for 8 minutes, and it comes out like totally fucking near enough. But left it in for 10 or 12, it'd be frozen. That's how like crazy it is.
Wow, cool.
But there's a thing you can do with dry ice, and like you get like any water container. It was like a 5 litre, and if you put dry ice in it, put the lid back on top, it'll blow it up, make a hell of a fucking noise.
That's a good idea. Where do I get this?
Yeah. And
we also do that in refrigerators.
We didn't like the campsite manager. We didn't like him at all, and he always used to fucking give a shit. So he turned around, put a lot of loads, just put some blue ice. Ice in there and dry ice, and put it in his cabin suspended on stilts. Put it under his bed, like where his bedroom was. And yeah, it took about an hour. We'd all just sat around waiting for it to go off. Just boom.
Right. Yeah, like a Gatorade bottle with the big mouth would be perfect because you could get the bigger chunks in. You put some water in there.
Did he die?
No, just
he wasn't happy. He wasn't fucking happy, I'd say.
All right, let's get through this John Bolton interview, then we'll be on to some other more interesting stuff.
Let's talk about France at some point.
Yes, sir. We'll get into the pension crisis.
Talk about the French?
It's not about the pensions. That's the straw that's broke the camel's back.
All right, here we go. Let's. We got. What do we got? About less than 3 minutes.
Statement that's untrue, that's uttered deliberately, knowing it's false. The administration didn't lie.
I want to mention, if you think you hear a lie on NPR, let me know, or even a false statement. We try to correct them when they come up.
I don't have the time to do that.
We also asked Ambassador Bolton about going to war without the specific approval of the United Nations. Our talk was complicated, so here's some background. Before invading Iraq in 2003, the United States wanted the world's leading powers at the United Nations Security Council to approve. Speaking on this program back in 2003, National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice made the case for confronting Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein.
And what we're saying to the council is, don't let him play that game. Give him a very clear message that he needs to disarm. He needs to disarm now. And perhaps, just perhaps, we'll still have a chance to do this peacefully.
Russia, China, and a U.S. ally, France, all declined to go along.
Clearly, this is a test, in my judgment, that the Security Council did not meet.
Which disappointed Secretary of State Colin Powell, speaking there also in 2003. President Bush ordered the invasion anyway, which the United States said was legal under earlier resolutions on Iraq. The UN had passed them back in the 1990s, before and after a previous war. John Bolton contends they were...
So just to clarify, the resolution was from the 90s, which they used.
Bush to act in 2003. Here's how some of our discussion went.
Do you believe that he did not have Security Council authorization?
You're telling me that he did. What was the legal
Why don't
basis?
you just answer the question? I have to answer your questions. Why don't you? It's a simple question, yes or no. Do you think he had authority?
I don't think the Security Council voted to specifically authorize this invasion. I think you'll maybe tell me that there were earlier resolutions from the 1990s that did give authorization.
There's that legal argument again that lawyers throw up. Well, it's a very important argument. George Bush had full authorization by prior Security Council resolutions to do exactly what he did, and any implication to the contrary is simply wrong.
You're saying that he had authorization not only to say that Iraq was in violation, but to decide on his own or with one or two other nations, a few other nations, that there should be an invasion without further permission.
Resolution 678 clearly indicated that countries cooperating with Kuwait to reestablish peace and security in the region were authorized to use all necessary means to do it. That's exactly right.
John Bolton is right that there were old resolutions on Iraq. One did authorize the use of any means necessary if Iraq was making weapons of mass destruction, which, as UN inspectors were finding, Iraq was not. Long afterward, former UN weapons inspector Hans Blix rejected the idea that the old resolution was enough.
Remember this name?
That yes, the action upheld the authority of a council that they knew was against it, I think strikes me as going against common sense.
Yet John Bolton contends 20 years later that the war was not only legal, but worth it.
Knowing everything I know now, I would do exactly the same thing.
Ambassador John Bolton, it's a pleasure always talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Incredible.
How can you say he hasn't learned a thing and you do carry the same?
I mean, he's wrong. He knows it. He just can't admit it. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, and remember that UN inspector? I remember that name from back then. And like when I heard that again, I was like, holy shit, this is like a throwback interview. And it was so well done. NPR, I mean, I know you guys hate them, but some of you, but I thought that was a great interview. I would have hoped it was. I emailed them for a transcript and asked them if there was more content. I got nothing because I'm nobody, but you know, shit like that every once in a while they hit it. John Bolton getting all irate and accusing, turning it around and saying NPR, tell me about your lies and untruths, and it's just hilarious, man.
Answer my questions if I need to answer yours.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it surprises me if he doesn't rate NPR very well. Why would he do an interview with them?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Well, because he's at least you got to give him that he did go on there.
Yeah, I'm glad he did because he had nothing.
Yeah, he did. He did.
What's crazy is he's done so much bad, and yet he's like well respected in certain circles.
I mean, he would have prepared a lot for this interview because he knew what he was going to be asked, and he brought his A game, and it was nonsense. It was crap. It was pure shit.
Accusing of going to war and comparing it with someone fake news on the mainstream media outlet. So
a child could have said, "Mommy, he knows he's wrong. He's just making lame excuses."
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I like? They attack Iraq on humanitarian cases. And Russia now also makes the same excuse, like they want to protect Russians in Ukraine. And now Russia is bad, you know? They do the same shit and they're bad. They even don't use uranium yet. Yeah?
Well, what about
it? You know,
they're both bad. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to let this guy do it because they got away with it.
Not to our media. In Germany, when you read German media, we can't because we don't know German, but anyway. So here in Germany, it's very bad what Russia did, and what the US did doesn't matter, you know.
Germany should be asking serious questions to the US ambassador. But why the fuck they bomb Nord Stream pipeline? But you're not hearing nothing from the German government, yeah.
How do you know the German government
prosecutes of the US? They won't do shit.
How do you know the German government didn't agree to it in advance?
Well, exactly.
I already said that they prosecute. If you give them money, they do everything.
I don't deny your point, Last Dance. I'm wondering why they're not turning around and saying, asking serious, demanding to see the American ambassador.
They got money for that. They got paid off to be silent. The last time is right.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be the obvious questions, wouldn't it?
Anna really giving you the props there.
I have to, because he's right. When someone is right, he's right.
Aphid Lip, you say that with utmost skepticism.
Yeah, he does.
I know your guys' history.
Yeah, but we can leave history behind. That's what we are grown-up people, not children, right?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The two most corrupt countries in Europe are Russia and Ukraine, and they fight over it every year. No difference.
Yeah, that's
Ukraine is
true.
not fighting. It's NATO fighting through Ukraine. And Ukraine is getting burned.
Yep.
Destroyed.
Generations of men are dying, and the country has been stripped of women and families, and and that generations of fathers, brothers, and uncles are dying.
More importantly, acres and acres of land are being made unusable by landlords.
No, that's not more importantly at all.
No,
you can't. Nothing's more important. Nothing's more important than human
not
life.
farmers, land.
Yeah,
nothing's more important than human life.
Oh, I don't know. We've got 8 billion people. I think we could spare a few.
Wow.
Well, I got news for you. Getting rid of arable land will take care of a lot of the people
That's true.
in Africa. So, win-win. Can we?
But the land will be lost because now comes in the depleted uranium.
It's very sad, actually. It's very sad that, if you're serious about that, though, because...
No, I wasn't being serious. I was making a joke.
Okay, the numbers are truly shocking. We're talking maybe 200,000 Ukrainian deaths, and not far off that with the Russians, and you can triple it for injuries. Right. And all their A-game army personnel, they're all dead. They're all gone.
But
there's none of them left.
In all seriousness, we could do with slackening the population a little bit, couldn't we?
Let me just clarify my stance on this. I feel a lot less bad about the Russians who have died invading the Ukraine.
I agree.
Than the Ukrainians have died defending the land that they live in.
No.
But you miss one
guys that don't understand what they're doing against the other guys that don't understand.
But why isn't the West talking about any sort of peace talks? Why aren't we trying to stop this war? Trying to stop this death?
Yeah, I think you have to.
What do you suggest, Base? We can't do out about it.
We've already thrown $4 billion.
Yeah.
$2 billion. Sorry.
We can't exactly get involved.
We're running out of ammo. We're not fucking replacing it quick enough.
We'll never run out of ammo.
Because we just sent it all to Ukraine.
They're running out of certain ammo, man. The ammo they use out there, they're going to Brazil and South America to get it now.
Well, we're pretty good at making weapons.
And the Brazilians don't want to sell it to them.
I just read a news story about there's multiple ammunition production facilities in the United States here that things had sort of slowed down for, and now they're 100% of their ordnance is sent to the Ukraine. And
so you're at war with Russia.
We just
not
love
Ukraine.
war.
You are at war.
I posted an article about this. It was something like this one could produce something like 6,000 shells. Very advanced. We're not talking your standard artillery. These things are technical. And they were shooting off I don't even know, 30,000 or something a week. It was crazy. The amount we're producing and sending and the amount that they're using to defend themselves, it's incredible.
Do you know what? I think that there's some guy in a green jumper out there in Ukraine going, if we say we sent all these missiles up, but maybe, right, get me, if we sold someone on the sly, just say we sent these up.
About 30%. I'm hearing numbers of 30% gets to the front line. The rest seems to filter out.
Yeah, filter out.
Yes. They stole all the aid. I read that Germany sent them millions of aid, food, medical stuff. They stole it all. It got lost.
I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying the amount we're producing and sending over, as far as I know, is all being used as fast as we can make it. War effort.
So you are at war, and we in Germany will die for this war, and America again stays out of it. Yes. So America fights through the Ukraine until the last Ukrainian destroys Ukraine. Then you find the next country to destroy.
It's really sad because when you look at the destruction of Ukraine and the destruction of personnel, I've said again, generations of men are being wiped out. You know, the whole families, neighborhoods. You know, these men are gone.
It's like World War I was to England and France and Germany.
Yeah.
And it's the youngest people who die. It'd be one thing if you went, for people like me who have, are basically done producing.
I'm seeing people your age, and I'm seeing people teenager Last Dance. I'm seeing 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
The saddest part about those that are older, the civilians that are being shot just in the street by the Russians.
Well, it goes both ways, that mate. It really does.
They also shoot Russians prisoners of war. I saw a lot of videos. They shoot them.
Yeah, but they take a lot of Russian prisoners to make them accountable in court, though, don't they? I'm not saying they take them all.
They don't only shoot them. They don't make them accountable. They just shoot them and torture them.
I mean, they are invading their country.
I know, that's a slight difference.
They are taking quite a few in custody because they are being.
Yes.
Yeah, but the craziness about this is that they voted back in 2014 to be part of Russia, not be part of Ukraine. I mean, this is how complicated it is. So
why would they vote that after they took Crimea?
Because a high majority of those areas Russian ancestry.
Are you talking about the Donbass area?
All of that down the south. There's like
almost
3 areas.
Everything from Ukraine was added to Ukraine after 1922, like after Soviet Union was established. Ukraine says it wants to get rid of all the communist stuff, so actually they need to give back all the land. Because the western part of Ukraine was Polish land before 45 years. They got it after the war. You have some Polish ancestry as far as I remember.
I do, yeah.
Yes, so you maybe know that many parts like this Galicia and so on was Polish. So it was like Ukraine moved westwards, yeah? So if they want to be decommunized, they need to give back all this land. And all the industry must be destroyed, because industry was made by Russia and by Soviet Union. And they get what they want. They get decommunized. No electricity, no nuclear power, no agriculture. They get back to 16th century. They got what they want, right?
Ukraine's not an old country, is it, Anna? It's it's a young country.
Poland.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm sorry. When I studied Russian language, I actually happened to write my master's degree was on a Ukrainian Russian author, and how he describes Ukraine. That's you still have it here, yeah. It's funny. He actually wrote in Russian. Ukrainian was a dialect based on Polish, by the way, yeah. It existed, but it was no country.
An arrest warrant was released for Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
Yeah. Where's the arrest warrant for George Bush, for Tony Blair, for the King? I say Putin is an asshole. I'm agree with that.
I must admit, you are right there. Where's that arrest warrant?
Do you think the crew, like Last Dance, do you think George Bush is deserving of an arrest warrant?
100%.
In the same sense as Vladimir Putin, or is it all stupid? Or is it all?
I think it's all stupid. I don't think Putin should be subject to an arrest warrant. I don't think Bush should be subject to an arrest warrant.
Why not? He also started many wars. No, tell me why not.
It's different when they do it. That's what it is. It's different when they do it.
I would like to hear why not.
Even going back to World War II, it's all just might makes right. It's the victor's justice. Lots of Nazis who were guilty of severe crimes, if they were of value to the U.S., they did not get tried. Yes. They got
Braun.
Well, Werner Braun's the most obvious one, but lots of them. And it's the same thing with Japanese. Some of them, I'll tell you who deserved to be executed is the Emperor of Japan. He was directly responsible for some of the worst war crimes that Japan committed.
Have we lost Steve?
But we compromised. It's never about justice, pure justice. It's always justice, but some other considerations, And so I'm not willing to give much credence to any justice scheme like the International Criminal Court that only targets your enemies. If you don't subject yourself to the same rules, then it's not about morals; it's about power.
Interesting.
You're right. Yeah.
I touched the cable and went blank for a second there.
So if Putin wins this war, then he will not be arrested. That's what I get out of this. Yeah.
Well, Putin won't get arrested unless he leaves the country, which he won't.
But in your theory there, Last Dance, does that not leave it open and allowed for countries to just invade, essentially, with impunity?
It doesn't change anything, basically.
Well, that means that in the history, people have invaded and not been held to account for it.
I feel confident in saying that the presence or absence of war crimes that are prosecuted or not has never changed the behavior of anybody when it comes to
after the fact.
After the fact, it just feels like victor's justice. The only people that are tried are the people who won the war. And it's not like there aren't war crimes on every side all the time in every war, no matter who's doing it. Even if the Pope went to war with his bishops, there would be bishops that committed war crimes.
But on the greater picture, the war itself being unjust, then if you said earlier that the Emperor of Japan should have been prosecuted, then why not Putin? What's the difference?
I'm not trying to defend Putin. I'm just saying that the war, there's so much more important things to do, like stop the war. If you're going to prosecute Putin,
the war.
How are you going to negotiate with him to reach a peace agreement? It's
exactly.
impossible.
No one from the West is talking about any sort of negotiations at all. No one.
I don't you're saying that Ukraine has to expel Russia, and then we'll talk. Well, that might not work. That might result in there not being any Ukrainians left to celebrate.
Yep.
And so that doesn't seem like a good strategy, but that seems to be the one that we're following.
When we look back at Vietnam now, and we think of the hell that we put our American soldiers
70,000 deaths, was it?
Is that what we're going to look back at? That Russians will look at this Ukrainian invasion in 20 or 30 years and see all the guys who were killed or had their legs blown off and they've done
it already, though, Steve. They've nearly doubled those deaths already. 70,000 in Vietnam. They're on 140, 200,000 already.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do in Russia, but
thing is, Russians can replace them. They can replace them. Ukrainians can't. They're running out of men.
Right.
Not to mention they'll hide the true number.
Oh yeah, the numbers on both sides are just like, I'm getting numbers between 140,000 and 200,000 deaths on basically both sides. I mean, I love the way the Ukrainians are saying, "Oh, it's 7 Russians to 1 of us." In Bakhmut, it's always more if you're the attacker.
The thing is, all the Russians are sending the untrained soldiers.
Oh, so are the Ukrainians, for fuck's sake! Stop being deluded.
No, the Ukrainians were trained by the Brits and the.
Oh, don't delude yourself.
Yeah, every single one.
No,
honestly, it's ridiculous sometimes.
No,
so you are at war with Russia, as I said.
Only 3,000 of them got trained.
It doesn't matter if they're trained. It matters what the results are. And the results are going to be a massive meat grinder stalemate.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. It's a meat grinder. It's just death on death. Like you said, they're both sending kids in. They're both sending untrained men in. I'm getting reports of them sending Russians in, some Russians with no arms at all, to actually get them to shoot so they can find their positions and stuff. Get them to show themselves and stuff.
Oh no!
Have you seen this?
Gary Lineker has put up my dog as one of the next fighters in the Ukraine war.
Sven?
Now. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Gary Lineker. He loves them Ukrainians. He won't have them on his own, but he loves them.
So there's a new technology they're using over there. Maybe it's not new. In fact, it's quite rudimentary, but they're dropping pressure-sensitive grenades from drones over the trenches. A lot of them seem to be saying they're Ukrainian, dropping them on Russian soldiers, but again, by the time these things get put on the internet, I think both sides are claiming them as theirs, so it's hard to tell who's doing what. But these are straight up Live Leaks alley, man. These things, they'll hit. I saw one guy was like running across the field. It hit him in the hand. It blew his fucking hand off. And it's like a little bomb, and it comes down from like 500 feet.
Yeah.
But
very accurate, isn't they, Steve? Very accurate.
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I don't know how they're...
Terrific. They can actually aim it through a turret of a tank. I've seen him go through a turret of a tank. An open hatch.
Well, so the Russians will soon bring out the big toys, right? If this doesn't work, they will bring out the big toys. This is what we want? To burn Europe or Ukraine?
Well, the Americans are already supplying Iranian-tipped missiles now.
No, I don't
well, now it looks like I think Putin's going to set up missiles somewhere in where is it, in Crimea or
Belarus?
No, Belarus.
Okay.
Because Belarus actually agreed to take them away, and now since this happens, they have to rearm. Otherwise, this will be the next target of these color revolutions, right? So you are actually helping Europe to be again with nuclear weapons more.
Yeah, I mean, the Belarus is not getting nuclear weapons. The Russians are putting them.
They had them. I know this. They had them, and they gave them back to Russia, and now they get them again.
Is it like
that was when it was the Soviet Union.
What was that in the 60s called? The Bay of Pigs, when the Russians put weapons in Cuba?
No, that was...
the Bay of Pigs was the attack.
The Cuban Missile
Crisis, okay.
Yeah, the Bay of the Pigs was the Americans, like not military, militia. Wasn't it CIA based or whatever it was?
It was actually Cubans trained by the CIA.
Right, there we go.
Well, I hate to interrupt, but I'm going to fuck off, guys.
Me too, Goon. Right. I've got to get up early for taking Little into cinema tomorrow.
All right, Gimp Boy. Thanks for being my Gimp Boy.
I'm always your Gimp. I mean...
You're right.
I've got to be at the cinema in 7 hours.
Good night, all.
Take it easy.
Bye, take care.
See you guys.
Later, everyone.
Bye.
Later, Biscuit.
Later,
Cheers
Biscuit.
Do you want to play that video now, Steve? That 1 minute video?
Sounds
just for a lighter note instead of talking about drone bombings.
It's in the back chat if you're needing reference to where it was at.
Back chat.
It is a comedy clip. It was my mate's comedy gold moment. He's done really well.
It looks like we have johnfhunt.co.uk on the side of the truck. So let's see what we have here.
What are you referring to?
This.
He's
John.
getting there. He's
okay, yeah.
We good?
I just noticed your placard saying refugees welcome here. I was just wondering if you'd like to go down on a list saying you're willing to take the refugees into your home.
Of course not. Only problem is I rent.
You rent?
Yeah.
Maybe an issue?
Yeah, because they've got, they've put 9 bedrooms in a 4-bedroom house, so we're pretty much
seem to actually adopt the refugee and take them into your home?
Well, if I had any space, I would.
If you had any space.
It wouldn't be a nice place to bring them because it's a bit overcrowded.
Right.
But yes, if I had the space, definitely.
Thank you very much for that, love. Put one into your home.
I live in a rental place, so I can't.
Rental?
Yeah.
You can't do it?
Yeah.
Someone else's job?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
You can't take one?
I don't have a space.
You don't have a space. Can we have a refugee stay at your house?
I
Yeah, I don't mind.
You go on the list?
I don't mind, yeah, 100%. Give me the thing. Oh, wait, I can't because my house is only a little small. And
amazing. Now, would you be willing to have a refugee in your home?
Yes, if I had room.
If you had room, it's funny that. To adopt a refugee?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Any reason in particular?
I don't. What sort of refugee are you talking about?
Excuse me. Would you be willing to adopt a refugee into your home?
No.
No.
Sorry, I can't.
Would you adopt a refugee into your home?
No, thank you.
No? Adopt a refugee?
I would be willing, yeah, if I had the space.
If you had the space?
Yeah.
So, where should we put them then?
Where should we put them?
Yeah.
Nobody to put them. I know what to say.
There's plenty of people who have got them. Who are you, mate?
My name's Jim, who are you?
My name's Alistair. I'm already adopted a refugee, thanks.
What does racism mean to you?
It means not equality for those who don't belong here.
Don't belong here?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's it.
I know where to put them, as I said.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, he done well, didn't he?
Those people are idiots. I mean,
yeah, he went to everyone that said a refugee welcome sign, so he sort of picked his target. You know what I mean?
Did anybody say yes?
Well, no, one guy said, "Who are you?" because he actually had a refugee that he adopted.
Or he said that, yeah.
I think he was just virtue signaling, mind you. But yeah, it's very funny, though. Like you said, it's crazy how deluded these people are, and it's true. The answers they give are quite honest answers. They've put 9 bedrooms in a 4-bedroom house, or whatever he said. You know, there are multiple occupancies. You know, these are all problems, right, that we're currently under, and the housing shortage and everything else. And it's not being racist to say the numbers don't add up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The UK is a fairly small country.
I mean, what if you were to tell that guy, well, we can't take in these refugees unless you put 15 beds in the 4-bedroom house. That's what it has to be. Well, I think he might put that sign down.
Yeah.
And go home.
I don't see it like that, though. They sort of ignore it, and
yeah,
I don't know what that, because when you break it down, it goes down to like schools.
Yeah.
It goes down to all your healthcare, your senior doctors, your dentists, everything.
Well, it's very easy to be virtuous when you're doing it in the abstract. When it's real and concrete, and you have to give up some of your space, or some of your time, or some of your money, or some of your comfort, or whatever, then it's a little more real, and you know, you're not going to get as many people agreeing to it.
Yeah, and like that crazy woman said with the pink hair, my house is little small.
Yeah.
Whatever little small is.
Well, the refugee won't mind.
Yeah. I wouldn't fucking mind if I was homeless. This is the crazy thing. Just to give you some numbers, 51,000 migrants in hotels at the moment, and 470 hotels.
Yes.
Not bad.
Well, so you do have room for them.
In hotels, but we're running out of hotels. There's a big thing out at the moment. They're going to use ferries or disused cruise ships, because they're basically there comes the stage where they're out of hotels. There was a story the other day. Cruise ships, because now it's like I've been saying cruise ships for a long time, but they're saying cruise ships now.
How many spare cruise ships do you have?
Well, the industry's been destroyed, isn't it? There was during Kung Flu, there was like 100 cruise ships moored on British waters all around the coast.
Yeah, but do you think it would have mostly started up again? People are going on cruises here in the States.
Yeah, but it's like I was going to go to Paris this weekend, right? Me to go to Paris this weekend was 280 quid for 2 days on a cheap flight. I mean, it becomes. I could do that 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I could do that for 30, 40, 50 quid.
Wow.
I can't do that for 280, 300 quid. I can't even get that.
How far is it, like miles wise?
Well, it's 8 hours in the car for us to get there.
Say 400 miles or so?
Yeah, it's 450 miles it is.
I mean, the first
it was 150 pound in diesel. That's what it was. 8 hours each way.
So to fly is what? What'd you say?
280 £80 it was this weekend.
Round trip.
Yeah.
So for us, say that'd be around 300, 150 each way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not terrible.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
That's about what it is.
But like honestly, before Kung flew, that would have been, fuck me, like silly prices. I went to Poland in 2018 for the flight was £20, and my reserve front row seat, row 1, was £20. My seat was the same price as my flight.
Wow.
Yeah, to me, those old airline prices seem too low, and the new ones might seem too high. Like, I never understood how airline prices got so low. There was a time when you could fly from Florida to Massachusetts for like $100. It's like 1,200 fucking miles, dude. Like, how does that make any sense?
A pizza cost me £20. And like I said, I was going to fucking Poland for fucking £20 return.
Yeah, the shit was just fucked up, man.
I have a feeling they weren't making any money on those flights.
Yeah, just keeping them open, didn't they?
I guess, yeah.
The routes open.
They probably got had some kind of stimulus too thing at the time, right?
I'm glad I didn't go to France though, because I thought Saturday would have been the day in France tonight, but they seem to have their own timetable, the French people. And I'm going to have to do some more investigating maybe for next week to see if they're going to pick a day next week they're going to protest. Because
so you're not going and planning on grabbing a baguette and a bottle and going down to the Champs-Elysees and finding a cute lady and getting drunk on the river. You're looking for a protest.
Yeah, I was going to live stream it. Have you seen the memes? Have you seen the memes? Like people sat outside a restaurant and there's all burning fucking stuff around them, and they're just eating it, and they're eating their lunch and stuff. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what Paris has come to now. I'm afraid. Macron's got to go. He's got to go.
I've not been in Paris for 20 years. Why would you go to Paris anyway? I don't understand, to be honest. You have Black Cat Arabs also in London, right?
Yeah, I'm going for the content.
What's that?
I'm going for the content. I'm going for the experience and the content.
YouTube. Okay. He's a streamer. He's a guy.
I mean, for example, if they kick him out through civil disobedience, which it looks like they might.
Hope so.
I'd love to be there to see it, because I particularly detest Macron. I think he's a horrible person.
Me too. He's like all the people that like him, you know.
And he's got to change the pension age. He has got to change the pension age. They're going to go bust. But the reality is the way he's done it, and it is the straw that's broke the camel's back. There's so much more to France's problems than this pension's just like not the main reason.
Yeah, they know how to protest. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wish that is here, but here they just talk on Telegram and then they just pay anyway, whatever it is. Yeah.
A lot of the communists know how to protest as well. You're seeing them all like Thursday night, and they're not like the American commies and the Antifa types. They're a different type.
They're not communists. The real communists already died out.
The anarchists. A lot of anarchists.
Their grandparents are communists. Now it's not communists. They're just paid.
Well, there are loads of unions out there. One day on Thursday, all their banners, all those fucking. But I mean, the one good thing about the dustmen on strike at the moment is causing a lot of problems for the police.
Yeah, but they burn a lot of shit, right? It's true.
Oh yeah.
They burn a lot of shit,
but
right?
unless you're taking it away, there's plenty to replace it.
Need to get some gas bottles to get the fire started, right?
I wouldn't condone that sort of behaviour, would I?
I don't know, not you. I still.
Oh, no. Civil disobedience might succeed in France, and I've seen some horrific footage of police beating the fuck out of people.
But the people are more. The people need to organize and beat the fuck out of the police, right? But it doesn't happen.
I've seen the police rugby tackle a woman the other day, and he was like an American. It was like an American tackle because he didn't grab her. He just fucking shoulder barged her, and she just flew sideways and hit the floor for no reason. Did you see it? It's crazy. They were just running. They were just running down the street, and there was a couple stood there, and the one copper just went straight up and just took her clean out.
That's freedom and democracy. If it happens in Russia, it will be played on all TV stations for months, yeah? And there it doesn't matter. That's
there was something I wanted. Aphid Lip was, about an hour or two ago, Aphid Lip was making a point about the MSM, and he said two things. Then he said number one, and he got to say number one. But he couldn't get around that. He wasn't allowed to finish.
Yeah, of course.
New legal pad. I'm getting this all on the new legal pad.
So, Aphid, what was number two?
What are you sure it was about that, or was it about when we were talking about that people don't want nuclear power plants in their backyard? Because I didn't get to say my number two on that one either. I'm trying to think of.
What did you say for number one?
You said acidine. I remember you saying acidine over it.
Acidine?
Wasn't it? Wasn't that what you were saying?
No, that wasn't. That's not what I'm thinking of.
Referring to what? Last Dance. When I was talking about what about mainstream media?
I think you were going to say why the mainstream, why that argument that there is a mainstream media that's influencing people was false. And you said number one, and then you said something that was reasonable. And I was waiting for number two, and then
number one was there's other sources like social medias that are coming through. You were saying, and number two was I don't know.
Well, we'll go look at it on review, and I'll
watch it again,
and I'll make you finish it in Discord.
All right. The nuclear power plants is what I was because I didn't get to finish that one either, and I didn't get to finish my bit about. I didn't get to finish my bit about what's that guy's name that Smokesteve thought he was great on Joe Rogan.
Oh, Brewer?
No, I didn't say great. I just said I saw him.
You fawned over him. You thought he was the best thing.
I never really liked Jim Brewer. I just saw him.
That was the point I was getting at. Okay, so if you look at the comments on these videos that he's posting, because they're all kind of quackpot-ish, and he's a physical comedian, so he likes to explore, doing goofy moves and making funny faces, and that's his whole shtick, But if you look at the comments, it's unbelievable because you hear some of these things he's saying, and it's like, okay, I got to read these comments and see what they're saying. And they're saying stuff like how he was sent here from Jesus Christ himself, and it's not just like some of the comments; it's all the comments. You can go look at Jim Brewer's page and find out for yourself. But fawning over him, how like he was the best comedian that's ever faced the earth, and that they cried when he left Saturday Night Live, and all these people just saying how brilliant everything he's saying is and everything. And it's I don't know, it went back to the point somebody, I think it was Base, saying how these people are just eating up this information. And my point is that everybody's getting, and I just have a hard time believing that people 20 years ago, 30 years ago, were this gullible to just worship these people that say these crazy things and
I don't think they were.
I don't. Maybe they weren't. And maybe I'm no better. Maybe I do it in different ways that I just don't realize it or something.
Well, do you remember
faced with the reality of some of this, it's hard to stomach.
I think we're more gullible now than we were 20 years ago.
Do you remember the Enrique?
I don't know if we are now.
Cults?
I'm curious.
There were a lot of cults there was I think it was called Enrique Ohm or something like
Om
that.
Shinriko or something like that.
Yeah, Om Enrico.
The Japanese cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did the nerve gas thing in the subways.
In the tube, yeah.
Yep.
So people have been gullible for... And
well,
Jim
I know
Jones,
they have.
People drank fucking Kool-Aid full of cyanide.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of...
900.
I've watched a lot of videos on these because it fascinates me. These people that fall for, and are willing to kill themselves and die for what one person is saying, and that's disturbed me. But looking at these, when you watch these documentaries on any one of them, it could be Jim Jones, it could be the stupid ones that put the outfits on and thought that Hale Bopp was going to come and take them away.
Yeah.
It could be
that was
Leah
Heaven's
Remini.
Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
They
I don't
took
care which one you pick.
barbiturates and they drank vodka. Like, if you've ever known someone with like epilepsy or they take barbiturates, phenobarbital.
Right.
Like, that's a common drug, but that's the same drug that these people dosed on, and then they chugged vodka. And they all wore Nike sneakers because they thought the swoosh.
Yeah, but the drug is the drug is news at 10 now. I believe we've all been under some sort of psychosis. We've all been under a spell by the fear porn that's being spread. I mean, there's people out there. I don't know. I mean, there's people out there. Let me finish. There's people out there that've literally grassed up on neighbours, grassed up on family members, said the most awful things to people that have a different opinion, right? Wished them death. And those people would never have done that unless they were under some sort of psychosis.
What I was getting at, though, was with these documentaries, you watch these people that were in them, and they weren't there the day that the shit went down, so they're still alive or whatever. Every cult has one of those people, and when they interview them, they're intelligent, smart people. They're not just like my Aunt Pam that has bipolar disorder and lives in a trailer that's got junk packed up.
So why can they do that to the mass population?
I think there is something to that, but I don't think it's just we can just blanketly blame mainstream media for this.
Yeah,
I think it's the whole culture or something.
But you must know people who have acted completely out of character, right? Where they've gone like super crazy clean, all of a sudden.
I have to leave. See you soon.
Oh,
bye.
Great talking to you,
Sorry, it's very late.
Good point.
You're back next week. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
But they've acted so out of character. Like you said, they've been like violent, wishing death on people for having different opinions. Now and you must know people like that, because I certainly know people like that have changed completely. And surely that could be a lean into that these people are under some sort of crazy spell at that time because of the 24/7 porn that we were getting.
True.
I mean, I don't know if we can just call it a spell. There's something to it that we as humans haven't figured out. I don't even know if the people that are doing it even know what they're doing. Obviously these Jim Jones people do.
I don't think we heard the number 2 even yet from the nuclear power argument.
The nuclear power. The other thing was campaign financing. I mean, people. There's so many people that donate. And they're going to lead people. Towards different types of energy that are more profitable to their people that are funding their campaign. That the people that are in office aren't going to make the decision that's best for us people that give them $5 or put a sign up in our front yard. They're going to cater to the people that are giving them millions for their campaign, and that's
the people like in Davos and stuff. You know about those sort of people,
right? Exactly.
Yeah. So they're going to do it for their own reasons, aren't they? They're going to make money between themselves. Yeah.
But I think it's simpler. I agree with you, Base, but it's simpler than people.
Not what you said earlier on.
No. It's simple. I didn't say that. I said that they're not hiding behind curtains. Agreeing with
public.
each other. and pulling the strings of everything. It's much more simpler than that.
Uncle Greg is here. Aha, Uncle Greg.
And that's him.
I do.
Nobody would go through all that trouble to try to be Topple.
Just give him a welcome.
No, but the people that fawn over that's what is just disturbing to me. The people that put people on pedestals. I don't care if it's a 16-year-old girl that is going to faint if she goes and sees Taylor Swift at a concert,
or like Fauci,
or somebody that Fauci. There was Fauci groupies. I guess I haven't met one of them.
Well, he goes walking around the streets. He obviously gets special protection.
Oh, there are definitely Fauci groupies.
And he's getting stopped in the street by normies. Going, thank you, Dr. Fauci. I'm amazing. But whatever, innit?
My sister was one.
Would you say thank you if you met him in the streets?
No, if I had Fauci here, what I would say is why did you tell people that wearing a mask, like even N95 mask, wasn't going to help you, just to save the hospitals from a run on N95 mask for the mass public, and to save those because I don't think he believes what he was saying. He said that the wearing the mask ain't going to help at the very beginning.
Yeah, he said.
And he said it because there was he thought there was going to be a run on protective equipment for the general public if the general public was too frightened to buy it all up, and that the hospitals or first responders weren't going to have access to it. So that's what I would.
It didn't work anyway, though, did it? The N95 masks.
I think they do work. I think you're wrong on that.
Yeah,
but we can disagree on that.
What the best way to do is take a vape pen, take an inhale, and then
that's
put the mask
best
on.
way. That's the best way to prove it.
The worst place you want to be is standing behind you, right? Because it seems like smoke out at the front and then come scooting out the back.
Here's my theory on a base, and it's a purely mathematical. If you have a T-shirt and you put it in there, if it cuts down on 10%, well, that's going to cut down on 10% of the people.
Yeah, but after 10 minutes, your T-shirt or your mask is soaking wet with your phlegm, and then any particles in the air will stick to that sweat and that stickiness. Because guess what?
I wear N95 masks at work, and they're fine for a good 4 to 6 hours. Now I'm using them to what they're made for, to filter out sheetrock dust and things of that nature, paint dust, silica, whatever. They don't get wet, but they do lose their charm after half a day, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But they work. Now, whether or not they work for something as small as that virus, that much I don't know. But
I was given an N93. I was given an N93, whatever that is. It's not as good, I'm told, as an N95. I only wore it to do some work on my car.
95 is the percentage that it will filter out at a certain micron size.
Yeah.
The better ones are the N100s, which they sell, which are far superior for certain types of dust.
Well, we were all lied to from start to finish. The science changed, the truth changed. They lied, they deceived, they made up evidence. They done lots of things.
Yeah, I don't really know. It seemed like they had a horrendous record of decision making, at least.
Decision making, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like
deceit. Just say it.
Well, I can't say that for a fact, but I don't know. Do you other two guys think that some of the decisions they made were asinine, like ridiculous?
Well, I mean,
I know Last Dance does.
I would say, unless Last Dance, you want to answer this first?
No.
What I would say is that if before any of this happened, if you were to see how we would respond to an event and try to do the best we could, and yes, there's going to be some mistakes made. Obviously, there's no way we could know what perfect decisions to make before the events take place. So to sit here after it's over with and pick each one of the things that were horrible, was there mistakes made? Of course there was mistakes made, but I think you would have to take that into account before the event even happened, that there would be mistakes made.
There's a big difference between mistakes and deceit.
Yeah,
and lies.
That's what I would say as well.
So stop saying like, yeah, there was poor decisions made and honest decisions that were mistakes, but there was an awful lot of deceit.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they did everything right.
Well, let me hear from Last Dance's mouth. What pretty mouth, real pretty. What decision? What was the deceit?
I mean, I think they said things that they knew were not true in order to achieve desired outcomes. And eventually it all came out that they were not telling the truth, and that they knew it was not a mistake. They knew that they weren't telling the truth, and you could argue that they did it for the right reasons. Even you could say that about the masks in the beginning. They would say, well, the reason I lied is because I wanted frontline workers and hospitals to have the masks, not people, just average people going about their business.
Yeah, I understand that as well. I don't understand that being the biggest problem. I understand the biggest problem as being saying that if you get the jib jab, everything will be cushy. Saying you're not going to transmit it, and as it turns out, all these things they said weren't true, and they knew it wasn't true, and the data.
The thing that you end up doing is, and there's no way to keep it secret forever. People will find out. You end up burning your credibility. People don't trust you. And when it comes time for the next public health emergency, people who, unless it's 20 years from now, it appears that we forget everything after 20 years. But if it's sooner than that, and you tell them, you need to do A, B, or C, people are not going to believe it. And if you've cried wolf and you burned your credibility. So it's much more important to be absolutely honest about what you know, to be absolutely honest about what you don't know, and when what you're saying needs to be qualified, you need to qualify it in your statements. And they didn't do that. They always pretended to be authoritative when they really didn't know for sure. Even with masks, they pretended that they knew for a fact that wearing masks, and not just N95, they said to wear cloth masks and wear surgical masks, and they never knew that worked well. And as evidence came out that it didn't really seem to work that well, they were kind of reluctant to admit it. So I think it was a mistake for them, and I don't really forgive it.
Sorry, and if because you can bring this up as well, Rand Paul in the Senate. I mean, if you watch any of that, Fauci just comes out of it terrible. He just lied. He lied in front of the Senate. He's lied under oath.
Well,
it's clear.
He doesn't want to answer the questions that Ron Paul puts to him, so his answer is to something that wasn't asked.
Yeah.
So they end up both talking about different things, and that's just how it is in all hearings that are contentious. No, there's rarely any information is learned at contentious hearings.
That is true, but at least it draws attention to those things. So I think they're important.
Yeah.
I mean, if it gets a little bit of news play,
contentious questioning, that particular one was as tense as they get.
Oh, it was great. It's great. I'd love to see him squirm. Brilliant to see him squirm. He tried his best, and he had obviously a battle plan to come back hard. But
I don't think either of them showed up very well in that. Like, I think they both looked.
Yeah, I agree.
Less than they could have if they had won. You know what I mean?
Well, like you said, it's the gain of function. We'll talk about with the Senate. It's gaining function in everything but name. In everything but name, it's gaining a function. Just because you changed the words, it does not make it not gain a function, right? And that's what it was. It was called. It was 2 words again. It come out of that Project Veritas thing. They called it. That he used 2 words, which was like developed sort of whatever it was, but it's gain of fucking function.
Yeah, I mean they're euphemisms for the same thing too.
Yeah, and that's what he was trying to say, wasn't it? Fauci, it's not gain of function. It's not. It's like just because you change the definition of it does not make it gain of function. It's terrible.
Well, what really matters is that it's very hazardous research that was done without proper protection.
Yeah, and we've had scientists coming out saying now that the leap from bat to human is so huge it's not really possible. And they didn't say nothing at the time, or a lot of them didn't, because the ones who did had their careers destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it was the lab or it went from animals to people. I don't know. There's no way to know. So because there's a permanent lack of evidence.
Well, that's done purposely. But if you look at Wuhan and the Wuhan lab of viral COVID, whatever it's called, it's a virology lab, right?
Yep.
It's even got basically Kung Flu in its name, isn't it? What is it? It's So the
WIV, the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Yeah, right. And like 10 miles away was the first case, literally just across town.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a coincidence.
But we now know
I'm as skeptical as you are.
We now know there was cases like as far back as September. So, case 1 is not case 1. It's mostly case fucking 21 or 51. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I was laughed at when I was coming to the conclusion on something come from the lab. You know what I mean? Just geographically.
Have you heard the latest theory that they come out with, that it's jumped from raccoon dogs to humans?
Raccoon dog, yeah.
Right. Okay.
I don't even know what a raccoon dog is.
Yeah.
I want one of those. Yeah, they sound cute.
It's super cool, man. But yeah, most people have never heard of one.
Right.
And it's a funky little guy.
Yeah.
He's a raccoon, he's a dog, he doesn't really know. But one thing he knows, he can spread COVID.
It's nothing to do with the lab. I saw those cows, he said nothing to do with the lab.
I mean, the thing can be walking around barking out COVID in all directions, and he's just happy as a little coon dog.
I had my car washed at the garage, and should we say they're Arab gentlemen. They do pray and all that. I've accidentally spotted them, and anyway, he said that somebody knows.
You lay on the horn when they start praying. Let's go, fuckers.
I didn't know where they were, and I went in their office, opened the door, and they were praying. Anyway, he said to me, someone I know, he said they died from their dog. He said, you spend too much time with your dog. And my dog's in the car, and they're washing the outside, and my dog's fine. And he said that, you can catch things from dogs, he's going, because I was like, because they don't like dogs, do they?
They're considered unclean.
Yeah, especially black ones. And so I didn't go down that route because but I said, how did he die from his dog? What disease did the dog give the owner? He just said dirty. So It's a strength. Don't worry, lads. It's a strength.
I like dogs.
You
Not
know,
a dog.
Diversity, I was meaning.
I'm not a dog owner because I like to do things and not have to worry about taking care of another living thing. But I love dogs, you know? And to have a whole group of people hate dogs like that, man.
Yeah.
They must be fucking strangers, dude.
Yeah, not everyone, but I certainly do get certain people crossing the road. But there you go. It's a Boston Terrier, for fuck's sake, not a fucking tiger.
I mean, Traeger is as gentle as they come, right?
Yeah, my dog's like crazy friendly.
Oh, my sister's dog. He's passed away by now, but her dog was a miniature dachshund, so a very small dog, kind of comical. And when she'd come over, when I'd visit the parents and she'd visit the parents, this is inside the city of Chicago. The neighborhood had a lot of Muslim people living there, and so I'd walk the dog, and sometimes I'd pass somebody, and they would shrink away from the dog like it was like I had a bear on a leash or something. And,
it's not a nice feeling, is it?
Well, it was a little alarming to see people looking panicked at the dog.
How much did this dog weigh?
I don't know, 10 pounds, 11 pounds.
Huge.
Yeah, mine's 10, 11 kilos, whatever that is in pounds.
Yeah,
probably 20. About 25.
Yeah.
0.2 pounds per kilo, yeah.
Yeah, so 5
22.
kilos, basically.
5 kilos would be like 13 pounds.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty fucking small, man.
You know, I have to say, it occurred to me that the lab leak versus zoonotic transmission competing theories, the fact that those became partisan in the U.S. is probably the strangest manifestation of partisanship I've ever seen in my life.
The what?
I mean, it came to the point where Democrats were against the live leak theory, but for the zoonotic transmission.
Right.
And Republicans were for the lab leak theory.
Yeah,
but somehow it became partisan.
Yeah, they were for the narrative. So it's funny how like the left and the far left, like with certain subjects now, are actually supporting the narrative, like the global narrative.
But there's nothing about that narrative that is either one. It can be said to be right or left.
It was the narrative. It was the mainstream narrative. Look, I took a strike for fucking talking shit about Wuhan lab. All right. So yeah, it was a fucking narrative, and if you spoke out about it, you were penalised.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the partisan nature.
Yeah, but all mainstream media throughout the world all said the same thing. Bat, bat, bat. If you said anything different to bat,
why did it? How did it happen that way?
This is a narrative.
Well, why do I have the narrative? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, because the media's controlled. Come on.
Why did they pick that narrative to?
Because that was the narrative they were told to fucking. If they're told to do something, they do it.
Why were they told to do that narrative? I don't see the benefit of a narrative there.
Well, that was the narrative. The narrative was it didn't come from the lab. Whatever we'll say it came from fucking bats. That makes perfect sense. And according to the experts, that leap is too fucking big. But they couldn't say that now, could they? Well, they didn't say that then because.
Who came up with that?
Came up with what?
Who came up with the pulling the string? Like, there's got to be one person, or.
Well, I suppose it originated. The Chinese originated it. I suppose because they were the first ones to report it out.
Yeah, and then the WHO or whatever, I think gave them like a grade or something.
Everyone follows suit from that. All the authorities follow suit, and that's the narrative, and that's what they'll go on.
But at one point, people were saying that the lab leak theory was somehow racist. But
of course, everything's racist.
But the Chinese eating live bats in some disgusting wet market is not racist.
I want to see him do
it. You're right.
Well, they were white bats. So white bats, there's no racism reverse.
Are you making soup? Is that what? I bet it's soup. I bet it's soup.
White bats? Jesus.
White bat soup.
I know it doesn't make any sense. I was just trying to spoof in there.
White bats.
All right. Albino bats.
I thought it was something kind of like. I thought it was something else. It was like some other kind of animal that they got it from. It was like a weird animal or something.
No, they said it was a bat.
There was another one.
Pangolin.
Pangolin, or
that's
another
it.
weird
That's
animal.
it. The pangolin. That's it. It's like an anteater or something, isn't it? That's what I'm picturing, like an anteater looking thing.
It's basically a
armadillo crossed with an anteater. I mean, it's not great. It's kind of an annoying animal.
They got COVID.
I mean, there's a thing called a D notice in the UK, and a D notice in the UK means that mainstream media can't report on certain things on the D notice.
What does D notice mean?
If they do report on it, then they've got to put it through handlers to green light it.
The thing with the pangolin.
Yeah, put D notice in UK news and see what comes up.
Tell us about the pangolin.
It's a real son of a bitch, that little mother.
David Attenborough, why don't you tell us about the pangolin?
He's a real bastard, that little pangolin. I'll tell you what. He's a real son of a bitch. That's all I got. I was trying to find the fucking stupid dog that I took a picture with.
I got a nice photo of my dog.
Put it in the back chat.
I
can't find it.
It's a good photo. You like it?
I got a dog story. Old Chip, he's he had that health scare recently, and we had to spend all that money.
Is he all set? Are you done dumping thousands into Chip?
Well, I'm really worried, man. He gained like a ton of weight, like 20% increase in his weight. And
so what does that
weekend,
mean in ways?
Hold on. Well, now he's in the 30s now, like mid 30s, and he was like 26 or something. So anyway, he went outside, and we don't know what happened, but I can only guess he was running around like he used to, and his weight, something happened to his leg, and he's only walking on his front two paws and one back. And I'm like worried if we take him in, they're going to be like, yeah, he's got an ACL torn, and it's going to be like $1,000. And I can't spend another $1,000. I mean, it's like one more thing after another. You gotta put that limit somewhere. You gotta. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
really worried.
It is expensive. I mean, you could give it a little time. Does he appear to be in a lot?
I did. No pain at all. And I went through the test. I exercised and tried to do his claws, his toes, his knee, all the way up to his hip. And he seems in no pain when I do anything to him. So.
Well, I mean, some would say if he's in, you should have him treated, because even if he's not in pain now, he might re-injure it or.
Well, from what I've learned, he'll injure the other one because he's putting so much weight on it. So then he's gonna have no good legs.
Aren't you gonna stop the medicine at some point that he's taking, and he'll lose the weight?
Well, I mean, it doesn't help with his broken leg or whatever the hell's going on.
I mean, it might help. I don't think it's broken or he'd be in pain.
No, I don't think it's broken either. I think it's a torn ACL is what I think it is. And I think that they're going to want to... Or a hip.
Is the old boy getting to the end of his life?
No, he's like 7-ish.
If he's happy, then he's happy. Then that's all.
I gotta carry him everywhere.
He can't walk at all?
Well, he hops. He can't go up and down the stairs, so to go outside, he's got to come down, which I got to carry him down. Yeah. And then he wants to be with me at all times. So if I go take a dump, he's got to go with me up there. So I got to carry him.
Here's what I'll say. It costs you money just to see the vet. That's going to cost money.
I know.
But you are in you decide what more treatment he gets.
I know.
If he says it's a torn ACL, and you say, well, I don't want to pay for ACL surgery,
right?
Because he doesn't have that good of a fastball.
Well, and then like, what if I'm faced with this option? Because this is what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Okay, it's an ACL, and let's say it's gonna be $1,500, $2,000 to get it fixed, or it's $700 if I cut his leg off, and he lives with 3 legs the rest of his life.
Well, isn't there a third option? How about just the bum leg?
Right.
Well, it's going to atrophy before it's going to be just dragging around. If
and
he's
then
not
what? It
used
goes
to
and gets infected, and then he's in worse
No,
shape?
I don't think it would do that, but it'd just be some limp leg that he has to carry around with him.
Well, I mean, the doctor will, the vet will probably take an X-ray.
Well, I understand all that, but I need to know what I'm facing when I go in there and what decisions I need to make. Like what do you
I
think?
don't think they're going to make you decide between keeping your dog alive or amputating his leg.
Even if he says you should put him down, you can take him home and think about it.
I understand that.
Okay,
I understand that. And he's not. I don't think he's to a point. He's got a bad leg. But he's not dying. He's fine.
Right.
He seems totally happy and nothing else. In fact, when he's laying there with you, nothing seems wrong whatsoever.
So he's
but then
only
he has to get down.
He's like 8 or 9. Is that what you said? Or
I think he's 7, 8, something like that. He's got half his life left.
He should be able to adapt to an injured leg very quickly.
You would think
he gained weight because you gave him medicine, right?
Steroids. And now they're saying he's going to have to take a little bit of the steroids the rest of his life, basically, is what they told us the last time we were in there. But he's down a bunch, and it's not like he's not getting up in the middle of the night pissing on the carpet like he was.
You think he will lose some of that weight?
Yeah, but I'm thinking now that he's not walking, he has to be carried everywhere, it's going to be harder for him to lose the weight.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that can help me out with this decision. He's going to tell me just buck up and spend the money.
What's up?
Did you hear what we were talking about? My dog Chip that I just spent all the money on for his medical condition now has injured his leg, and he only uses one of his back legs.
How old is the dog?
Like 7 or 8.
ACL?
I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Tell them to chop the leg off.
That's what I was just telling these guys, and they're like, "That's not going to happen." So what if I'm faced with
cheaper.
Bunch of butchers around here.
Topple, because I think that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I was telling these guys. What if I'm faced with it's $1,500 or even $2,000 to do the ACL, or it's $750 to $1,000 to chop the leg off? Am I wrong for not? What you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
What would you do? I know what you would do. You'd spend the money, but
well, you have another dog, right?
I got 2 other dogs.
Just call one of them Chip.
That's a good point.
You got other dogs.
Topple, you're the one that's always like, I don't care if it's
I only have one dog. I only have one dog now.
Oh. So if you're in my position, would you think $750 is worth chopping his leg off instead of $2,000?
Well, no. I want to know how much the surgery costs.
I think it's $1,500 to $2,000. I think that's realistic.
I would pay
for
for
ACL
it.
surgery.
8 years
old.
old.
What if it's $750 to chop his leg off?
No, I would pay for the surgery.
What if I just spent that much on him?
Okay.
What, is there a limit?
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Yes, there's a fucking limit, bro.
Dog, you at your limit. You get another ouch, you're going down.
Yeah.
How?
Miss Optimistic over here.
You're trying to run a family here. You can't be spending all the money on the fucking dogs.
I know. That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, Chip's my boy too. Chip is my boy.
What's on your other arm?
Oh, Chip could die.
What is that?
That's it. No offense, buddy.
Smokesteve, I know you don't have a dog, so you don't understand.
No way,
it's different
man.
when you have a dog.
I don't have a dog for a reason.
Well, I don't have that option. I'm past that point. You know, we're way down that road.
You have said dog.
I just spent all this money on him, and I can't just give up on him. You know.
Oh, you got other dogs.
No, but you can.
It's like if you had an old Buick and you just change the motor and the transmission goes out and you're like, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm putting it on.
Well, you just put money into it. You're gonna put a transmission in it then.
That's called the sunken cost fallacy.
Yeah, your dog would be so pissed if he knew he was about worth a Buick, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cha-ching, I'd pay.
What are you gonna do to Chip?
I spent $100 to give it a haircut first, though.
What do you think? No, Chip don't get no hair. Sit on the couch here.
I mean, look at how much Aphid likes his dog.
Is the dog in pain?
That dog is your second child.
No, the dog's in no pain.
The dog's not in pain, then I wouldn't stress about it.
Take his leg off.
I know, I'm going to go in there, and I don't care what it is.
Let me tell you this. If he tore his ACL, wouldn't he be in a hell of a lot of pain?
Not
well,
really.
I don't know. He's not putting any weight on it at all. And he seems in no discomfort. But it's not getting any better. Like every day, I think like he's going to start putting weight on it, and it's not really changed much at all.
I'll give him a year.
So when he walks around and stuff, does he use the leg with the ACL tear?
No, he doesn't touch it to the ground.
So
every once in a while, he uses it to
scratch it off.
Well, I know he uses it to scratch his ear. But then he does like 2 scratches, and he's like, this thing don't work. And then he uses his front paw to like try to scratch it, but he can't reach up that high because he's half Dachshund, so his legs are like real little.
So, are you sure he doesn't have a broken nail or anything?
I tried that, man. I went through everything. You know, I watch videos on YouTube to like look and see what's going on. You know,
take it to the vet. He will know presumably how to test.
I mean,
if
I know.
I torn ACL or whatever.
It's just going to cost him $500.
I mean, $500. I don't care
because they're going to X-ray. That's why it's going to be expensive.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, and they should be X-rayed because, I think you have to take him to the vet and then after that make a decision.
I mean, I gotta take him to the vet. There's I can't self-diagnose this, and you guys are no help.
Well, make sure.
I don't know. Cup of Tea has some great stuff in it.
Crazy.
Well, I bet he does. I didn't see.
It's making me laugh. He's such a funny guy, and he says the most horrific things. It's just like
he loves me. Cup of Tea loves me. It's obvious.
Match made in heaven.
It's like Ted Bundy in the chat. There's there's the intelligent, witty guy, and then there's the serial killer just comes out without warning.
So Topple, did you see what I put in the chat to you? Do you think I heard Chuck Woolery, the great Chuck Woolery? Everybody knows that Chuck Woolery knows all, but he's one of the ones that I get force fed on Twitter for some reason.
Oh,
Chuck Woolery.
I never even heard of him.
Woolery. Chuck Woolery? Oh, he was the host of the Love Connection. Is that what it's called?
Is that what it was?
It was a dating show back in like the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he did a couple game shows.
He says that Tulsi Gabbard's going to be Trump's VP.
No.
Oh God.
No kidding, huh?
I don't think she would do it.
That's what he said.
No,
That's what he says.
Huh.
She wouldn't do that though.
Yeah, I don't think that Trump is her speed at all.
I moved past her now. She's not part of my fan club.
No,
she's from Hawaii, right?
She's Hawaii, yeah.
You don't like her anymore? You used to love her.
Yeah, you were all into her, dude.
She's all Fox now. It's all Fox.
Oh.
She switched platforms real quick.
Hey, Mr. Kill C1.
You can't catch her on your CNN app anymore, is what you're saying.
And I found a new love anyway.
Oh, who's that?
Anna Luna.
I've never heard of it.
Anna Luna?
Never heard of her.
Look her up. Well, no, I like AOC by her looks, but not her politics. I think everyone would agree on that one.
No, I don't think she's attractive at all.
You don't find her attractive a little bit?
Not even a little.
Really?
Least. No.
I forgot you're racist. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Anna Luna, who is this? What does she do? What's she known for?
She's Republican senator.
American politician, swimsuit model, Instagram influencer, and conservative activist serving as the U.S. representative for Florida's 13th Congressional District.
I'm voting for her.
So she's actually in Congress.
Yes.
An Instagram influencer is in Congress.
And Trump as president.
Oh,
Trump
God.
as president. Come on.
Yeah,
that's true. But every time I think we've reached a bottom, I'm always surprised to see that no, we have not.
Oh,
Are we really looking at having another Trump and Biden running against each other? Is that really what's going to happen?
Well,
Surely that can't happen.
I can't. I just, even if it was most likely, my brain would not process it as such, because I just can't.
No,
there's no possible.
I can't countenance it in any way.
That's the best we. That's the best we have to offer.
That's her.
Well, that's a young picture of her.
It's young.
Let's get the MILF picture of her. No. We're not. It's definitely not going to be Trump or Biden. It's definitely not going to be either of them.
I mean, you can't say definitely.
No, it's definitely not.
That looks like the best choices on both sides.
Well,
best.
I can't believe Biden would run.
As far as numbers go, best. I mean, you can't believe he would either, but
they won't let him run. They won't let him run.
I think if they run the numbers and he looks like he's the one who could beat Trump, I think they will push for him to run. I think he's the one that shouldn't want to run.
He can't run. He can't run right now.
I don't think he could do a debate, for example. Oh, for God's sakes!
Yes.
Oh my God!
2024, baby.
Oh, that is so hackneyed, so used. The baby with the guns. Come on.
I will say she is definitely more attractive than AOC. That's
right. Oh yeah, that's true.
How about Bobo? Bobo.
No, fuck no. She's annoying.
That girl's not. She seems like that NBC morning show host that isn't on anymore. What's her name? That was with Matt Lauer. What was her?
Katie Couric.
Yeah, she's like Katie Couric. That Bobert was a younger Katie Couric.
Bobo. She was all
so
right.
Freaking annoying.
I don't really know her. I'm looking at this.
Yeah, I got.
Why don't you look up swimsuit with the name Anna Luna?
Swimsuit?
No, don't.
After seeing her photos, I have no interest in her.
She's got to say. You don't want to know her policies.
I mean, it's obvious. She's just she's a caricature of a right wing, hottie kind of thing.
She plays it with the guns. But she did have something there. I did see a video of her. She kind of made sense with certain things, but it's Congress, though.
Right, exactly. It's all about acting.
It's all a shit show.
Right.
I'm still sharing here. All right. Stop that.
Thank God you didn't go nowhere else.
Right.
Jesus.
Nah, but
Thank you, Cup of Tea.
How can Biden? There's no chance that Biden's gonna run, and they're not gonna let Trump run. They're gonna do everything in their way to get.
It's not up to them. He's going to do everything he can to run.
Yeah, but do you think he will have enough support, though?
I pray that he won't. I believe he won't, but
I don't think he would have enough support.
Would you guys vote for him if he was the candidate? You right wingers?
I would not.
With who?
I would not.
With who? With Biden?
No, if it was Trump versus Biden.
Yeah, I'll go Trump.
I would vote for Biden.
I wouldn't vote for either one.
See, that's a cop out. I'm voting for Trump.
I can't vote for either one.
I'm the same way as.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't know if I could, but I would rather Biden be in there than Trump, so I'd vote for Biden.
I don't think either of them are going to make it to the finish line, if they're alive. That is too.
I mean, I don't see any line that Trump wouldn't cross, for his own personal gain, and I don't see that in Biden. So I'd have to put him in there instead.
I think DeSantis is going to go for it.
I'd vote for DeSantis if it was DeSantis and Biden.
No kidding.
And I don't even like DeSantis, but I like him better than our option with. I haven't seen enough of him to dislike. As much as I dislike.
You would vote DeSantis over Trump.
I would.
Oh yeah, DeSantis over Trump.
Absolutely.
I'm saying DeSantis. I would vote DeSantis over Biden.
A lot of people say DeSantis is smarter than Trump. That's why he's scarier.
I think he's less harmful.
I think he's less harmful. I don't think Trump was harmful. I just can't do another 4 years of that.
I think he's marginally less harmful, but he's clearly going to be a, someone who stokes division, just like.
All right.
everybody
How about
before.
this?
Exactly.
How about Smokesteve's wife, Spaghetti, or what's his name?
Buttgig.
Bucket
Buttigieg
against DeSantis.
I would vote for Buttigieg.
I mean, he hasn't really done very well as the Secretary of
No, but
Transportation.
he's kind of like Ben Carson. What was his response? Why was?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah,
But
Carson was like a brain surgeon put in charge of inner city
Housing and
school.
urban development.
Right.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was called.
It made no sense. It was just to get the black vote. I can only guess is what his thought process was.
Well, no, he was appointed afterward, wasn't he?
Was he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
He probably was. He probably was. 'Cause
appointed after, but it was almost just bizarre.
Well, I'm amazed that he was appointed, and I'm also amazed that he took the job. Why would you, as a surgeon, want to take the job as the housing guy in the administration?
And what happened to him? Why isn't he running for? Why isn't he going to run?
I think he worked for Trump, and he's ruined for life.
Well, what do the Democrats have though? That's who they bring in.
What does anybody have? I mean, I don't know. What DeSantis
at least Republicans, you could look at. They have Trump, DeSantis, and I can't name a third one right now.
I would be interested if what's the chick that all Republicans hate now?
Nikki Haley?
Cheney. No, Cheney.
Oh, Cheney?
Oh,
yeah.
Cheney? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Even I hate her.
I would over Biden. I would definitely vote for her.
Oh God, she's a warmonger she does not just her Cheney. That name is important. She's a warmonger, just like her dad.
So how old is she?
50s.
That's all right. Yeah. We've done good with warmongers in office.
Yeah, you're a warmonger. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit of a warmonger.
I'm handing you the tomahawk. You're the warmonger.
I am a little bit of a warmonger. I have to admit.
I think
I like flex. I think we should flex our muscles every once in a while.
Yeah. No.
I have a question. Who is it? Name one person from Trump's cabinet that is still with Trump.
The one dude that might run, but I'm guessing he won't. That pulled us out of Syria and what's his name?
The Secretary of Defense, you mean, or
yes? What was his name?
Yes. Flynn.
No. Recently, at the end, he pulled out of Syria. It was like his lifelong dream. He was in the Congress before that.
Oh.
And when he got in there, I think that he kind of controlled the whole thing of us pulling out of Syria.
God,
I can't believe I can picture him.
Not the guy that was the CIA director, you mean?
No, what was his name?
He was a congressman. I can't remember his name. I can remember what he looks like.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
I mean, everyone has abandoned Trump that he handpicked.
Yeah, what's that tell you? What's that tell you?
It tells me that he's, that, his most trusted people that know him best don't like him and don't think they want to be with him. So
yeah,
it's a very bad sign.
That's what I mean. There's no chance in hell he's going to be the candidate.
Oh, it's not decided by anybody but the voters. And
no, that's bullshit. That's not true.
It is true.
The super PAC and all that. No,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's just who puts the money forward. I mean, it just doesn't mean if somebody. I know, but it doesn't mean that if DeSantis gets $100 billion to spend against Trump's $100 million, that he's de facto going to be the pick.
Are you talking about campaign money?
Yeah, well, that's what you're talking about. Super PACs.
Well, yeah, but there's other things involved with that too. It's not just campaign money, though.
But it's not rigging the election. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If people want Trump to be in office, they're gonna, and I think that at the point, it's more than it's 26% of the United States, so that's more than 50% of the Republicans, want Trump right now at this moment in time, and he's gonna be the one that gets it, unless DeSantis. He hasn't even declared he's running.
Nah, he hasn't.
But I mean, obviously he is, or he wouldn't be in Ohio. He's Florida man. Why is he up in Ohio?
I just have a hard time thinking that Trump.
Mike Pompeo. That's who I was thinking.
That's
Mike
what
Pompeo.
I was looking up.
That's what it was. Mike Pompeo.
Okay.
Why were we even trying to come up with his name anyway? Oh, because he's still with Trump, I believe.
Is he?
I think he is. I don't think he said anything negative about. Okay. I mean, Pence has hardly said anything negative about Trump, to be honest.
But he has said.
Yes.
It's not a lot, but he's definitely said it.
He said his decision making on January were wrong. I mean, that's about as far as he went with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike Pompeo, as far as I know, has not went against Trump. But that's it. I can think of anybody else.
Well, I think they're all waiting to see who runs too. I think a lot of them are waiting for DeSantis to say something.
It's just to put the period on that sentence. It's not just that they don't like Trump. It's that they all, pretty much every single one of them, say that we cannot let him be president again.
Yeah,
I mean that's even further than just not liking him. They're every person in his cabinet that ever was is saying that we cannot let this guy get back in office.
From their standpoint, they didn't like him because he wasn't even a politician. He didn't run things like a politician.
I mean, you can't say that for everybody.
It affected their pockets too. That's why.
No, he asked them to do things that they wouldn't do because they're violations of the Constitution.
Well, but they saw the power that Trump had. Does he still have that though? With the voters and all that. If he loses the voters, he's going to lose everybody.
Smokesteve's going down. Look at him.
Oh,
look at him. He's going down.
I think Smokesteve wife.
Smokesteve wife. She's still awake. Go down here.
Give him CPR.
Turn him off.
Give him the paddles.
He's out.
Clear.
What the hell happened?
Look at this guy.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
This guy's sleeping.
He's relaxed. He's where we all want to be.
He's going.
I'll have what he's having.
Out. He's gonna try to come. He's gonna try to come back next week and be like, "Oh, I wasn't. No, I wasn't." Here's proof.
Yeah, cup of tea says lightweight.
I don't know. I don't think I could do what Smokesteve does.
Yeah, I think
I'd be gone in 30 minutes.
I would be on a stretcher for sure if I.
Think either one of the influences that he has, the beer or the
right.
Either one. Oh my God!
I hope she can see this and ends this.
I know, like maybe if I
text him.
Yeah, if I send him a
It looks like his phone's right by his face anyway.
Twitter.
Oh, I know what to do.
Twitter.
Text him.
I don't have his phone number. Yeah, he last see.
Smokesteve. Smokesteve.
Oh, we both thought the same thing.
Oh,
Smokesteve. There you go. There you go.
Almost.
Close
there it is.
Down, buddy.
How's it
Close
going?
It down. You're fading.
You were thinking about something.
You were passed out for 45 minutes.
25 minutes?
45.
She came down to tell him.
How many minutes?
I'm just kidding. It was only about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. All right, Smokesteve, we're gonna take off, so you're awake to shut this down, okay, buddy?
Yes.
You good with that?
You guys want to call it? Sounds good to me.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you next week.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much for doing it.
Thanks, Smokesteve.
Peace.
Hey, take care, Aphid Lip. Take care, Topple.